Monday night, live from the basement, Outlaw Radio. I am Kevin Barnes, man. I'm the host of Outlaw Radio. I'm just very happy to be here. If you've been paying attention, you know I just recently had a birthday. So I'm happy to be here, man. You know, a lot of times what's going on in our community is very hard to be optimistic. So welcome to the show. It's what we do on Mondays and Wednesdays from 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time until we cut the machine off. Well, what is Outlaw Radio about? I want to take the time to say right now, share the show. First and foremost, share the show. Please share the show on your timeline. Sometimes our numbers suck. It's like it's stupid, right? There's a number attached to the show, which is 262-202-5131. 262-202-5131. You can get in the chat room. So why would you get in the chat room? Why would you call? Well, let me explain it to you. Most of the time on Outlaw Radio, we are talking about things that are pertinent and important and relevant to the Black community. And if you happen to be a foundational Black American such as myself, you can appreciate that kind of conversation. So I encourage people to get involved with the brouhaha, right? Like be with the shits, as they say in the streets. Be down, right? Get in where you fit in that type of ideology. But like I said, man, shout out to you. Shout out to the people who support the show. So many people try to like reach out to me and just rock with me. It's crazy. Like I'm not. I don't think of myself as a celebrity, but I think a lot of people listen to the show, and I appreciate the fact that they like the show. Shout out to Dion in the chat room. He said, "Kev, happy belated motherfucking birthday, my guy. It's all good." He said, "I'm in this motherfucker ready to talk shit." Well, that's kind of what happens on Outlaw Radio as well, and that's why I encourage people to get involved. Ewok says, I thought I forgot the time went back. It doesn't change in Arizona, so I thought you partied too hard. I got it in. I got it in. Shout out to the homie, Westside Zeladon. I want to talk about birthdays and what they actually mean. When you get to our age, what do birthdays actually mean? I mean, do I want to party? No. Do I, the cake is cool. That kind of, the sentiment is cool, but it's more of, as you get older, it's more of a reflection, a period of reflection. Like, not like I said, shout out to West Side, because we did kick it, right? We kicked it. But I just, was at the crib. Wasn't in no club, no party, no shit like that. In the crib. Dion says, unbutton my motherfucking shirt. I refuse to. I'm teed up tonight. It's one of my birthday gifts. I love tactical wear. I love I don't really do name brands. I don't like to have anything on that has like a big ass brand name on it. Right? Like I don't like anything that has like somebody's logo on and it's really large, unless it's all already, I won't wear it. Shout out to Serena Lynette. How you doing, Serena? She said happy birthday. She said blessed to be above ground. Yeah, right. Like I'm not into big logos. Like if it's name brand but it's low key like this, I rock it. But if it got the big ass joint on it, I don't get down. How y'all doing out there, man? How y'all doing? Let me know. Call in, please. Participate in the show. Please participate in the show, right? Like don't get me wrong. I will sit here literally for 2 hours and talk to my motherfucking self. I've done it before. I just love to have it, flow with other people because I respect everybody's perspective. And I love to hear other people's opinion because sometimes it'll help you see the big picture. One of the biggest problems that we have in the city of Milwaukee is everyone can't see the big picture. They have tunnel vision. It's a city of silos. It's a very, very small town trying to be a big city. Shout out to the homie Mike. He used to say everybody here want to be the tallest midget. But it's my shit. 414 versus everybody. I say that everywhere I go. Carry that on my back. I don't have a tattoo, but if I did, it'd be Milwaukee related. But yeah, man. All of a sudden it's November. I told y'all we getting off into this Hallmark holiday season in which all of a sudden back to back bumbles where money got to be spent. Celebrations need to be had. And I see you anti-holiday ass niggas out there front like y'all ain't gonna celebrate. You on some bullshit. You buying your kids gifts. You gonna eat some dressing for Thanksgiving. I ain't no turkey. I eat some dressing. Black people shit. Real, what it do, man? How you doing tonight?
I'm good. How you doing, man?
I am very well. I am post birthday, but I'm one of them cats who feel like if your birthday was in that month, then that
Yeah.
whole month is yours.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like so, anytime I want to fuck off during November and somebody say, "Why you doing that?" I'd be like, "Shit, it's my birthday." Nigga, your birthday was. I mean, So I'm happy to be here, man. It's Outlaw Radio. I want to welcome everybody in the 414. Stand up, call in, get in the chat room. Obviously it was my birthday over the weekend, but I always like to open up the Monday night show by asking my co-host, "How was your weekend, my brother?"
Hey, it was cool, man. I'm starting to feel the effects of it now, though. With that daylight savings. Shit, I fucked around and been up since well, I guess it'll be considered 3.
Okay.
Because it would have been waking up at 4 in the morning, but shit, I guess I've been up since 3 this morning because the hour set back. So now we gotta kind of adjust to gaining an hour. I posted a post just saying how during daylight savings time, when we gain an hour, heart attacks go down by 21%. But in the
Okay.
springtime, when we lose an hour, heart attacks increase by 24%. So that just shows how important getting sleep is.
You know what? I'm actually very glad that you are here
Oh, okay.
because
Yeah.
I had some questions. First and foremost, seriously, real shit. Because we a lot of times we talk about, and I'm learning this lesson. A lot of times we talk about things that people may or may not understand. We have an in-depth understanding of. And so I
Yeah.
want to talk about this daylight savings time thing. And I know you're always in tune with how the moon is moving and how the planets is aligned. So what is the reasoning behind daylight savings time?
Well, they were saying that it by them adjusting the clocks, it gives us more time of sunlight. So basically, since the sun rises a little later in this season, they set the hour back so that now when you wake up at 7, the sun is up versus when you waking up at 7, it's being still dark. So they was saying how it kind of helps allow us to get more time of light, but in actuality, nah, it just fucks up your circadian rhythm, which fucks up your health for a little bit. And also, when we lose an hour in the springtime, suicide rates increase as well as fatal car crashes.
So okay, and I'm looking at my chat room. Sharina says, first of all, she says Scorpios is cool. That's gonna be the next part of my question. So I'm gonna get to that.
Yeah, yeah.
But she said daylight savings time had her tired. And she said it was used for the farmers, but I'm saying, is this a natural thing? Is this because you mentioned circadian rhythm? You
Yeah,
know what I
yeah.
mean? So that would indicate that is actually a biological thing versus something that man did to
Oh, I
adjust
see
his
what you're saying.
schedule. You see what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
did
yeah.
man one day say, shit, at this time of the year, you got to get up a little bit earlier because it get dark a little bit earlier. So let's just say time go back. Or is this a natural thing where biologically your whole shit just kind of shifts? You know what I mean?
No, it was something man did. I
Okay.
mean, so our body is designed to so we kind of like plants. We have photoreceptors. So our mitochondria, it actually can pick up EMF or magnetic, electromagnetic fields, different spectrums of light.
Right.
So like we're designed to rise with the sun. So in the morning time before the sun is at its highest, it's at an angle where it gives more red spectrum in the morning time. So as we supposedly evolved or whatever, we rose with the sun, and by doing so, we drew health benefits from it because that red spectrum of sun told our body to do certain shit. it told our mitochondria to rev up to pretty much start producing it's called ATP, but that's just like the power of the cell.
Okay.
So it revs up to get us ready for the day type shit. So each spectrum communicates to our body. Like a lot of times people got insomnia because they still staring at their phone throughout the night, and their phone gives out a bright blue, and bright blue going through our eyes tell our mind to continue producing serotonin instead of melatonin. So then people, because they don't produce melatonin, because all that bright blue going into their eyes is telling them it's still in the middle of the day, then they be like, I can't get no sleep. I got to get some fake ass chewable melatonin. But in actuality, if
You just
they
need to get away from the phone.
or they
Goddamn phone down. Give it up for real.
Or they could put that
Give it up for real for teaching y'all why your ass is lazy. That goddamn phone down, man.
Or they could put that red filter. A lot of phones got that red setting on it to turn the screen red.
Okay.
You can have that on at night. And then also our lights. A lot of times we use those CFLs, them compact fluorescents. And most times we opt for that bright ass blue. And that fucks up our circadian rhythm. So if you got bright ass blue in your house and it's on till 9 p.m., it's gonna fuck with your sleep. You might want to try to get some of those warmer color lights or that close to red. Just some things they could try to kind of get their circadian rhythm back on point.
It's and people don't even understand that your body is such a complicated machine that it responds to different spectrums of light. That is existential thinking right there, and that's on a different level. But that's why you're on Outlaw Radio. I'm gonna give you my second part of my question for you, but I want to welcome the witch doctor with his late ass. What's popping, man?
Yeah, what's happening? You know, man, black people time. Hey, I'm probably right on time with the rest of the listeners.
Well, I hope not. There was a few people here before, so you might be right. There might be some relevance to what you're saying.
Man. Hey,
how you doing tonight?
Hey, we got some viewers that's we got some viewers that's more on time than me every show.
Well, you know what I would say, when you can be here on time, you are. But when you behind the gun, you behind the gun. That's why I understand it. Because I'm like, if he could be here, he'd be here. You know what I mean? Like he either probably taking a power nap or probably just getting in the house from dropping off an order of, sea cucumbers or something. Some exotic cabbage from Saudi Arabia and shit. Right. So, I get it, man. I get it. Let's make sure your audio's on point, Kamar. Welcome to Outlaw Radio, my brother.
For sure. We give it a little time to warm up.
Yeah, got to warm up. His modem got to do jumping jacks. Peace, Outlaws. This is Brother Shay from the Mile High Income Migrant Flooded City. How you doing, my brother? Shabaka's Black Experience Enhancing the Revolutionary Agenda. My brother. He said, what happened with Sexy Red? I heard she got booed off the stage in the worst venue in Milwaukee. I wouldn't know because I'm no longer a part of that crowd that goes to a Sexy Red concert. So I didn't hear any reviews.
I
heard she got booed.
Okay. I didn't hear. Thank you. I didn't
don't
hear
know about booed off the stage, but I heard she got booed.
Now, was she at the rave? He said the worst venue. So automatically the rave comes to mind, like with the concrete, the morgue of concerts. Fucking rave is all concrete and shit. You go in there.
That's where you go perform on your way down, right?
Right. All you gonna hear is you be like, what? I wouldn't seen the Ghetto Boys. What the fuck is this? Is that a concrete bench? I'm leaving. Yeah. So I don't know. Educate me on if Sexy Red got booed. I'm gonna talk about Sexy Red, but I wanted to loop back. Because Rel and I were conversing. Like people say, we were conversating. We were conversing about the season. So I wanted to add zodiac signs
Yes, sir.
because I've seen a lot of people relate zodiac signs to personality traits. And in particular for myself, because I'm a Scorpio, right? Like, so, and I don't put a whole lot of stock into zodiac signs, but everywhere I've ever been or gone or anytime, especially when you talk to women and you say, well, I'm a Scorpio, she said, oh shit. You're like, what are you talking about? Oh, y'all mean, but y'all some freaks and this, that. Like, Scorpios, most Scorpios get murdered. Like, it's all these kinds of. I'm like, damn, how relevant is that? So explain the nature of why we even observe zodiac signs even to this day. People talk about voodoo and get at you for going to church. Don't nobody say shit about what's your sign. So where does this come from?
um, a lot of cultures got different zodiacs, but it's all just an observation of the cycle of the constellation. It's cosmology, so it's just understanding. So astronomy is understanding the positions of the heavenly bodies, and astrology is taking that understanding to another level just to understand how the positions of those heavenly bodies impact you. You know what I'm saying? So just a holistic approach, understanding that everything is connected, as above so below, as below so above. So even the positions of the planets have some sort of effect on you, just like how the position of the moon can affect tides and shit. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? So it's just understanding that. And I look at it more so from a psychological aspect, although a lot of people do look at it from a like more mystic aspect. Um, with um with Scorpios, that's a water sign. It's a fixed sign. It's a fixed water sign. Represent so it's ruled by both Mars and Pluto.
Okay.
So Mars is the planet that represents war, passion, aggression, desire, sex, shit like that. And then Pluto represents the underworld, death. It also represents hidden or the occult, because that's all occult means is hidden. So Scorpio season usually, like the season we in right now, usually a lot of shit bubbles up to the surface. So that's when those secret frenemies and haters become known and shit. This usually the season where you might overhear a conversation that you wasn't supposed to hear, but you really needed to hear type shit.
Mm.
Because Scorpio it represents transformation. So the life death cycle, alchemy, revealing the hidden. So this is a time you really want to do your shadow work and stay meditated, because this is the time that hidden shit becomes revealed, and it can be shit that's strong enough to put you through a change. Like around
I,
this
I,
time last year is when I found out family was shitting on me. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of
mm.
did bring a death to that
Well,
relationship.
that puts a damper on it being my birthday, though. It's kind of like, hey, happy birthday,
No,
but there's some shady shit going on. Like
no,
goddamn. Like, should I blow these candles out or not? Like, what the fuck are we
well,
talking
no,
about here?
it's
This is a fucking,
every
it's fentanyl in the cake. Don't eat the shit, right? Like,
every sign has its pros and cons. I mean, I don't
okay,
see it as negative. It reveals what was under the surface, and now
okay.
with that awareness, you can move accordingly. So that's
Because
why it
I'm
represents
gonna tell you, bro, I
transformation.
I kind of feel like that goes on 365 days a year. Like I can't.
Mhm.
I'm if you'd have talked to me 2 weeks ago, I guarantee
Yeah,
you, if you spoke to me tonight, I know a little bit more than I knew 2 weeks ago.
yeah,
Even in terms of what has been revealed, like it never stops for
right,
me.
right,
Like I'm
right.
just like I see shit all the time. And then sometimes you look at it and be like, well, I've seen that for a very long time. I just never gave it a name. Or I
Mhm.
never categorized it, right? Like so it's like, okay, well, damn. What we gonna do with that? Maybe it's it's finally like you said, it's bubbling over. It's revealed. So
Right, it done bubbled
damn,
up to the surface. But
I
then
never had
also,
I never had a zodiac reading before. This shit was
uh,
kind of fly. I ain't
I
gonna lie.
mean, also Scorpio rules the genitals, so that's why they say it's sexual, because it rules the reproductive organs, and then
Right, I can ride
it's
with that.
also no shave November, so it's the best time to operate in Scorpio
When the
energy.
bush is in full growth, right?
Yep, yep.
You going in. Let's go out here and pick some vegetables, right? The grass is very high. That's some
Right.
nasty
Hey,
shit,
I got
right?
a
Isn't it?
question.
What's the question,
I got a
bro?
question for you. Um, I think first off, I think it's a slippery slope, right? Like when we start talking like that, because some people think like it's just like all people are like this. If you're a Scorpio, all Scorpios is like this, straight up and down. You know what I'm saying? But I think it's a slippery slope because you know what I mean. We all grow up different.
Right,
You know
right.
what I mean? And we all grow different habits. We all grow different traits, different beliefs, different thought patterns. So
Mm-hmm.
like some stuff that could change, like some of the bad parts out of what some people will say was in the Scorpio, I feel like could be changed in some Scorpios where it really ain't so bad no more. They done worked. They maybe not even so much have worked on themselves, but just the
Yeah,
way their life has been patterned. You know what I mean? They ain't like that so much.
yeah.
You see what I'm
I
saying? Real like I was. And so the question is like you kind of answering the question because you bobbing your head. Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
I just said
Uh,
that shit, nigga.
But I was just, but no,
well,
because it's really, it really was
Real giving you the
supposed to be.
Captain Obvious face.
oh
I
no,
was
no,
just
that's
saying,
all good,
I,
because somebody
I
may,
was just explaining, you know what I mean, where I was, where my
yeah,
thoughts is, and
and
I'm
somebody
bouncing that
else.
off of you to see what you thought about something like that. You know what
Oh
I
there you
mean?
yeah,
go.
'Cause it's just like the past traumas that we go through that, you
Hey,
know what I
I
mean,
want
make
to
people different.
come on, check this out though. You know, the reality of it is because I know you and I, we both, and we've agreed on this many times. We kind of live by the 100% rule, which means there's nothing 100% true about no given group of people,
Right,
right? Like you can't say all black people eat
right.
fried chicken. It's just not true. A
Now,
lot of
now,
black people eat fried chicken, but not all of them, right?
right.
right,
Not,
right.
So,
not,
so
not like Real said. Now it is some stuff that you know what I
it's
mean. It is
there.
factual.
It's there. It's there.
Exactly. It's
So,
factual and all. You know what I'm
yeah, because I'm
saying?
I'm looking at my personality. I know my personality traits, right? And I'm looking at it, I'm saying, damn, some of that shit he's talking about, that's a part of what makes
Right.
me go. Like that's why that's how you feel. Like
Right.
if here's a thing. I hate to
Yeah,
get too deep too early, but sometimes in your life you claim dominion over certain things, but you don't claim dominion over other things. There's things in your life that you won't compromise on. They're what we call deal breakers. Then there's some shit you flexible about, right? Like, but some of those things you claim dominion on, some people might say those are pet peeves. So if Kamar gets up in the morning every morning and makes his bed up, because that's what he's been doing since he was 6 years old. And if you get out his bed and don't make it up, he's pissed. You get out my bed, goddamn sheet on, and put the goddamn pillowcases. It's like I talk about with me ironing my pants, right? Like,
In this specific
right.
order.
It's like I said, with me ironing my pants, and you say, dude, why you still put creases in your pants? Because that's what I've been doing since I was knee high to a flea. My mother said, listen, nigga, check that.
Dog,
You
hold
go
on, hold 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 on. Kim, you still put creases in your pants?
absolutely. Absolutely. I buy starch. I crease my pants. I do. And listen, I can't wear a wrinkled piece of clothing. It weighs on me very heavily. I cannot put a wrinkled piece of clothing on my body. I'm a because my mother, you just didn't do it. And that's so well, early on, she let you know. Like if I got up and went to school and said, man, I'm running late, I ain't gonna iron my pants. And I came home and my pants was wrinkled. I should have just
Shit.
been late to school because I'm in more trouble than don't you ever in your fucking life go outside this. So for me, like I said, my appearance, I've claimed dominion over my appearance from a very early age. And I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna brush my teeth, I'm gonna wash my ass, I'm gonna put on some deodorant. because that's who I am. I'm annoyed by people who don't do it. I'm annoyed, like, why you got them wrinkle ass pants on? Ken, why you worried about me? You ain't going nowhere with me with them wrinkle ass pants. I'm just saying we have personality traits, and some of them are great because Kamar don't eat meat, right? And that's a great person that he's claimed dominion over his diet. But I'm sure some other shit you'd be like, this nigga's just super crazy about this one little detail. Like, hey man, don't don't move that seat up to right there. I don't like it when I'm driving and the seat is right there. Somebody else wouldn't understand it. You'd be like, I'm just gonna ride by myself.
Hey, what movie was that? What movie was that, man? Where dog was like, this motherfucker keep fidgeting in my back seat. Who the fuck fidgets in the back seat?
I don't like that shit. I'm looking in the rearview mirror. Like, drop this nigga off. Dropping you off. Paris says CNN is surprised Milwaukee black voters aren't coming out in support of Democrats, and I shouted y'all out on my Saturday show as well. Happy belated birthday, Kev. My brother, that's one of my talking points. I seen that in the Journal Sentinel, and I also seen it in the USA Today. I love the USA Today. It's just crazy. I'm a nerd, right? Like, when you like reading the USA Today, something's wrong with you. Paris said, are we still in the age of Pisces, or have we moved into the age of Aquarius yet, Rail? Another zodiac question for the boy.
Yeah. So they, the songs say this is the dawning of the age of Aquarius, but I don't think we.
It was really, like 50 years ago, though.
But we really don't hit the age of Aquarius. We right on the cusp right now. I think they said we don't really enter the age of Aquarius till about the year 23,000 or shit like that.
So what do that mean? Age of Aquarius, we're gonna be naked, just clothes is just back. We're gonna get back to where we was.
Oh no.
Because Aquarius sounds Greek, and when I think about Greek people, I say, well, them was the first freaks, right? Like they invented debauchery. So I was thinking,
shit. Okay, so Pisces, the fish, the reason people had Jesus fish on the back of their car because we in the age of Pisces. Pisces is ruled by Neptune. Neptune deals with imagination, illusion. It's a very spiritual.
It's not like those are the people who most likely to be drug addicts.
They the ones, they the finessers, man. Like and much.
Oh, he froze a little bit. Let's get this technology together, y'all. Hit the Cash App so I can upgrade my browser.
That wasn't. They usually be finessers. A lot of Pisces. I'm sorry, what to say?
No, you had pause, so it's bullshit. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. No, I was just saying. I ain't really met too many Pisces brothers that wasn't really finessers. Like usually they be the kind. Like even the cool ones, it'll be like for an example, dig this shit. And no hate to the dude, much love to the brother. I was gonna do an event with a brother who's a Pisces, and we was all gonna go in on the Airbnb that we were gonna run the event out of. But his thing was like, hey y'all, so we all gonna kick in on the Airbnb, and then me and my family gonna stay in the Airbnb when we not running the event. So in the back of my mind, I'm like, hold the fuck up. We all paying the same amount, but y'all actually gonna be living in the motherfucker for a couple days, whereas we paying the same amount just to throw an event out of it. Like, and I can't say it was malicious, but I just ain't never seen a Pisces male enter a situation to where they ain't already figured out how to come out on top.
You know what? That's one thing. I've never asked another brother. I've never asked another brother. Like, I don't be like, "What's your sign?" Like, I'd be like, "That's gay." So I never even say that. So I would never even know.
Yeah. For one, real, I dig what you saying, right? You know what I mean? I dig it.
Yeah.
Like, cause I know growing up, over the years, I know a few brothers who I knew was Pisces, and even when I was a kid, I knew some people. You know what I mean?
Well, they finessers,
and it was always that they not always, but a lot of the time.
It's relevant. It's That's what I'm saying. When he was talking about Scorpios, I'm like, damn, because I've heard people hit it on the head and say, "Oh, you a Scorpio?" I'd be like, "Yeah." They'd be like, "You so and so." I'd be like, "God damn, how this motherfucker know?" Let me catch my chat room. Mama Jenkins, how you doing, Mama Jenkins? She said, "Good evening, my outlaw family.
Peace
Let's
and
make it do what it
blessings.
do." She said,
Hey,
"Happy belated birthday, KB. If you like pound cake, I will be honored to bake one for you this weekend. 7 Up or cream cheese."
Ooh,
Oh
shit.
man, I'm leaning
oh
towards that
shit,
cream cheese.
you
I'm
ain't
leaning
said
towards the cream
nothing.
cheese. Hey, yes, yes, ma'am, Mama
You
Jenkins,
ain't
cream
said
cheese.
nothing.
Yeah, you ain't said nothing but a word, right? Right, right.
Right.
Never offer a fat kid cake. Um, Dre Day,
Peace,
Outlaws, how you doing,
peace.
my brother? She said, "There's nothing wrong with that, KB. I still iron my pillowcases and I like my clothes ironed also. That like I don't like rugs in the bathroom for men because they piss on it. These are the things that we're all fetish about and are accustomed to. I, I've been married 23 years, so I can admit that I've pissed on a few rugs or two when I've had one too many beverages. When my wife just take the shit like, oh my god, my bad. I'm sorry. If I piss on the towel, I can see it so I can mop it up. I don't know that I pissed on the carpet. I'm sorry. Kristen Harris, he said, "Behold, when ye are entered into the city, there shall a man meet you, bearing a pitcher of water. Follow him into the house where he entered in." Holy shit! I feel like you just put roots on me. I don't
I
even
know
know
that's
that.
Aquarius. That's
Okay, okay. Thank you for putting me up on that because I was over here finna throw some salt back.
oh,
He said the age of plenty, Luke
nah,
2:22:10. Hey man, you gotta be
man.
careful with me. Markel Dejan McCormick, he said, "Can I join the conversation?" You in like Flynn, my brother, you in the chat room. He says, "Definitely is gay, bro. No homo. I ain't doing that either." Brother, what's your sign? It's just I'm just saying. He said no salt, no salt. Right. Listen, so it's live from the basement. I want to say we are right now in the process of trying to participate in a coat and hat drive for the kids.
Okay.
Shout out to the Juice Lady because she's put the Village MKE involved, the Black Chamber of Commerce, Kamar with House of Vitality. We're all in. We've all put our names behind it. We want people to drop off. If you have
Yeah,
coats,
and
because
I
I got
got some
kids.
coats too. I got some coats too, man. I was hoping Courtney was gonna be here so I could
I was
actually.
hoping so too. But I'm because
We'll
we've been
both take
sharing it.
coats.
But if you got them, I want to tell people to drop off points though, because
I
she
know.
has a place. One of her friends, and I forget the name of the venue, and then you can drop them off at the House of Vitality with Kamar too.
Right.
And then we're gonna get them cleaned, obviously.
We'll get it.
And
Yeah.
try. We want to get enough coats and hats to. I hate to see in the wintertime when I'm driving young kids out with their mother. You ever drove up and it's cold and you see a sister on the bus stop with the little babies.
Oh
Mm.
yeah,
And I
that's
say,
tough.
God damn, what you doing with that little baby out here? And he ain't got no hat on his head.
Mm.
That bothers me. So I'm and the people who I work with as well have requested, like, hey, can you help me get I got kids, it's about to
Yeah.
get cold. So
Yeah.
I want to put some push behind this. So I ask that if you can please share it. It's in the People's News Network. I'm gonna share it again.
Okay.
If you can,
Hey,
please.
hey, Kev, I got that box of hats that we never did get printed up. So,
What I
hey,
want to still print them though. I want to still print them
how
though.
you
Come on,
gonna,
don't get
hey
them
man,
away.
how you look, guys?
Don't give them away. Come on. I still want to. We can make some money off that shit. Shit. Hold on, Kumar. You gonna give away some shit? Hold on, man. Hold on, man. I thought you had donated those to the show,
Oh
man. Don't
shit.
you? We still no,
No,
we
I
don't
used
got
to
them hats.
when I used to get hats and gloves for my kids. I
Okay,
used to just back in the day, the hair store used to have gloves and hats for like $1. I
right.
used to buy like 10 hats, 10 gloves after I buy my kids stuff because when I used to have to drive to work, when I'd be riding down the street and you see them kids like the little high schoolers or middle schoolers that was too cold to put a hat on and shit. I used to pull up to the bus stop, be like, "Hey man, where your hat at? Well, here, take this hat and
Just give
gloves."
it to them.
Yeah, but that's back when
Okay.
hats was $1 at the hair store. I don't know how much they is now.
I once again I get my kids, man, and I realize that my kids are older now, so we still hold on to a lot of stuff. Like we still have their coats and their like I still got my kids' toys. I still got my son's Power Wheel. the four wheeler, and I want to give that away to another kid because we holding on to this stuff and there's kids that don't have. Let me catch this chat room and then I got to call her on the jack. Mama Jenkins, oh shit, she said we'll call you Saturday when it's ready. Cream cheese it is. Oh yes, it's going down, right? Michael, he said we all been so off half truth. I know and always say there's no difference in hot or cold truth. A lie, it's all different degrees with the same expression, like you're right and left. He said I used to fake scams for people back in the days. We've all done something. We've all done something left of the line. I know I have. If you haven't, the show might not be for you. Right? If you ain't never did some shit, maybe Outlaw Radio, that's the name.
You ain't never did some
Sean
shit.
Moore, what to do, man? He said you lying.
I obviously called at the wrong time. We talking about doing scams and shit. What's the word, family? Doctor, professor, whisperer, whatever you say. What up?
Man, we're good. We're good. We were talking about it's my birthday. Shout out to Sean. Sean, I seen Sean.
I thought your birthday was the other day.
It was the whole month is mine though. November's mine. Okay. It's like the year 1975. Even though I was born in that year, I own that year. Like that's my year, right? Whatever came out.
That's what's up.
Yeah, whatever came out that year that was good, I should have part of the patent for it. All the best movies, the clothes, everything, right? No, so
even the bad shit too.
Even that shit, whatever heroin.
Oh, okay.
Crack wasn't here yet, but whatever powder was out there, that's my shit too, right? So yeah, 75 in November. Those are my two places in time.
What about HPV and shit like that?
Well, I don't know that was 75. I would have to do some research and see what year you was born, and then we start from there. But welcome to the show, man. How you doing? I seen Sean. You was out with your family. I don't know. You had a relative who was getting like a proclamation. First of all, I didn't know you had that much family. I'm like, dog. It's people who actually like this dude. So shout out to you, man.
Such an asshole.
I'm just saying, man. It was beautiful.
Yeah, that was my wife's grandmother getting a proclamation. She turned 85.
Okay. Yeah, it was beautiful, man. A lot of people don't get to see the behind the scenes. Like I've seen Kamar used to come do the show and he would have his daughter and what's this little shorty, little dude, little dudes. Yeah, he used to have them both.
Brother.
Yeah, and he'd be like, her little brother, and he'd be like, yo, y'all sit there on that couch while we do this show. And they would sit there, wouldn't make no noise.
Hey,
they would
I didn't even really say that. They'd just go chill out.
They'd be chilling, just chilling. And so I seen that behind the scenes shit, right? Like, so I've been in Rail house and seen him in his environment a little bit, not all the way, because Rail might get risky. I'm taking my robe off. All right, I'm like for letting me know I'm leaving. I'm out, man. Well, you don't know what's gonna happen on the commune, man. But yeah, it's Outlaw Radio, man. He said it sounds like Jackson 5 to me. That's Michael. Markel. I'm sorry, I keep calling him Michael. It's Markel. I'm sorry, my brother. I butcher names. Tiarsha Arthur's in the chat room. She said, good evening, Kevin, Kamar, Rail, Sean, peace, and the Outlaw Radio, man. Yeah, y'all welcome aboard, man. Share the show. Please share the show. It doesn't do any good if we don't share the show. Listen, tragic ironies or incredible coincidences. The police chief in the city of Milwaukee is at a meeting about reckless driving and leaves and gets hit by a dump truck. Man, my neck and my back laid the fuck out in the street with it. The police chief. Hopefully that brother's okay. I'm not trying to be an asshole. It just happens like this. So if there's a message about what's really happening in the city versus what you leaders actually see, do you know how ironic it is for the chief of police to attend a meeting about reckless driving and then get hit by a dump truck when he leaves the meeting? Like, so yeah, that happened today in Milwaukee. It's very interesting. And I don't wish no bad. I'm not wishing no ill will on the brother. I'm just speaking on the irony involved of Okay.
Right.
So I mean, you get to see that this shit's real. When
Yeah,
statistics become
I
people.
was just watching the news a little while ago when they was talking about it. The news lady, she was like, it's ironic. I was just watching him. I was just looking at him. And it's like I turned around and there he was on the ground. Some shit.
Damn.
There he was on the stretcher.
Right.
Damn. Is everybody all right? Somebody did get hurt?
His ass was, ain't he?
Well, nobody died as far as I know, but he was wounded. I don't know if this is part of what the lawyer said. Just lay there because they said he had the brace on. It was like, oh shit.
Oh, damn.
He might not be the chief long. He might be another taxpayer settlement. Depending on who's driving the truck. Was it a city? What is a city truck? I don't know.
No,
It wasn't a city truck.
It wasn't no city truck.
Okay. One of them contractors y'all done hired. Y'all done, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
one of the motherfuckers that wasn't supposed to be on the job, you know.
Yeah,
was it? I don't know, Sean. Is that what happened? Don't lie on nobody, Sean. Don't. Sean jumped out there. It was a nigga who ain't had no license, had warrants and shit, behind in his child support.
Probably was a contractor from Germantown.
I heard he had his baby mama in the dump truck with him.
Coming in to get this money to take back to Germantown with him.
Smack up. You hit the police chief, Mr. Winarski. Yeah. Milwaukee is real. Shit's real. Milwaukee is active. You think it's a game?
Yeah.
Tell all these leaders.
He might get a supervisor position. Who knows?
I don't know. I want. There's more to come. This is. This is one of them things where I guess where Rail was just talking about. Because what I heard Rail really saying is one of our main traits of being a Scorpio is that you are actually an asshole, which I've accepted at this point in my life. And so some shit that ain't supposed to be. Yeah, it's taking me a long time to realize this because I thought it was everybody else.
You know
I didn't know. Say that again.
I said y'all the assassins. So whereas one person might say a whole tirade or some shit to snap on somebody, y'all just say like some straight to the point psychological bomb and shit. Like, you know, that's the thing with Scorpio. They rule by Mars too, which is war, but not like an Aries who coming at you head on so you can see him. The Scorpio is the ninja type shit. He creeping up on you and putting some poison in your cup and dipping off before you even realize it. So they
like
both
sounds like a real asshole. And sometimes things that are not supposed to be funny to me are. And just because of what's happening in this city, to see the police chief with a neck brace on getting taken, that shouldn't be funny. I know. Please don't cancel it.
Yeah, man.
I laugh like a motherfucker.
That's wild.
You know. I know it's fucked up, right? It's fucked up, right?
Hopefully everybody all
right. We weren't supposed to lie.
No, that's not supposed to be funny to me. I shouldn't have been entertained by that. Listen, a lot of the things that I share in the People's News Network, and sometimes they're serious. Sometimes it's shit that I actually get a giggle out of, right? Like, so I'd be like, oh, that's some shit it shouldn't be funny to you. I've been working.
Once I found out he lived,
okay, there we go. Once it's like, damn. Yeah. Somebody fall, like, I'll be like, is they all right? But then when they move, I'll be like, you bust your ass. That type of shit. Right?
Maybe he'll do something now.
Right.
Hey, they said that he got it's a bitch. Motherfucker just hit me. That's what. So I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I thought that part was funny. Like, yeah, motherfucker.
Yeah, because I'm just hearing Marion Barry saying the bitch set me up. Like every time a black man fall, I just think the bitch set me up. This bitch set me up. Marion Barry was hitting the pipe. They said, "Oh, police." He said, "The bitch set me up." It's like, no shit, Marion. You got you on tape, man. What are you talking about? He still got reelected, man. It's all good, man. Rest in peace to Marion Barry, man. Because anytime I get in trouble, I don't care who's involved. That's the first thing I said. The bitch set me up. Kevin, there's nobody here but you. Bitch is somewhere setting me up. Outlaw Radio. Listen, let's pay attention. Let's pay attention to the trial of Michael Mattioli, the officer who murdered Joel Acevedo. His trial just started. We have these conversations on this show all the time about crime and punishment. We start talking about
Send this punk ass to jail.
where their indemnity comes into play. And the footage, I'm thinking maybe there's more extensive footage of what actually happened at the zoo to the young sisters, and it looks more
Mm-hmm.
egregious. It looks more egregious than it did at first. I just want to say that. And it's obviously an overreaction by some white stormtroopers, by some Gestapo officers. And we know they exist in every department. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Within what they do and the way that their job is translated, I don't know that they violated that they did anything illegal. It is an overreaction. It's a violation of these young sisters. These young sisters will be kind of traumatized, and I don't know them well enough to say what happened prior to this because that might not be shit to them. That might just be like, boy, that was last week. We straight. But it's a very disturbing video to watch, and it's got national attention. When you think about the fact that, especially the footage I seen today that I shared in the People's News Network of the young sister actually retreating. She's on her back. She's backing up, you know, on her just backing up. She's in fear, obviously. And this officer has no kind of conflict resolution skills. He's not even a critical thinker. He's a fucking caveman. Because if I see a little girl backing up the way she was, my as a man, I'm gonna say, whoa, shit, little girl, hold on. Baby girl, chill, hold on.
Right.
I ain't trying to hurt you. Calm down.
Like it ain't that serious, little sis. Look, I need for you to chill, right? Like the fact that he was more and more amped up. The fact that he continued to jump on her and start landing blows on her. Come on, man. Where's Crump? Where's the where you ambulance chasers at? Let's get a lawsuit popping. If nothing else, let's waste their time by being caught up in litigation so he'll be off the streets. But I'm saying, and I understand that we as taxpayers have to, bear this burden, which gives us more and more justification for at least adjusting this immunity, this diplomatic immunity, at least sort of leaning towards giving them some accountability for their actions as law enforcement officers, in which there's personal, financial, and economic effects to what happens to them. Bitch, you ain't sitting at home with your pension and your shit intact and your salary while we waiting on a review. No, you're not paid. And we ain't paying for your fucking lawyer. And like I said, if the lawsuit goes against you, why the fuck are the taxpayers paying? No, we're gonna take your fucking house. We'll take your car. Y'all have to be doing security at the Milwaukee Mall when we done with you, right? So I was
the sheriff said that she would not support anything like that.
Of course she did.
So.
Of course she did. That's why it has to be some individuals who ain't her, right? I don't expect her to. She did what I expect affable Negroes to do, right? I mean, shit. So this should be something where there's accountability within the community. See, we don't have an entity right now that can even step to them and make them be accountable for this shit. That's the problem. That's why I get frustrated with Milwaukee political figures and leaders here, because they don't really do shit. Because this is when we need for you to be active. Not when a motherfucker get murdered and you want to show up for a press opportunity and go hold a candle. I'm talking about changing laws and procedures so this shit won't happen no more. Markel says, I'm a distinguished Scorpio, and I don't do that. I don't do nothing psychological in my experience. The spirit can't give the mind or brain what it can accept. I wrote a whole book on it. So I don't do psychological bomb and no active mind. He said, better than an active mind. I say I wrote a book on it.
Now, see, and that's the point, and that's the point right there. What I was trying to make earlier. Just
it don't go for everybody.
As far as why we can't categorize everybody in the whole like that. You know,
right.
Because some of us we done. Yeah,
but the shoe fit by a matching purse. That's why I said I know where it applies at in my own life. Because come on, man, I keep talking about the days when I wasn't as aware as I am now. I may have done something psychological to an individual to get what I needed. I mean, there was a point in my life where I was like survival of the fittest for me. I was like, shit, if I got to choose between me and you, I'm choosing moi. And I spoke French when I said it. Moi. Right. If I gotta fuck you over, consider yourself fucked. Unless you were one of my real, like, you know what I mean? Like if we was like that, I wasn't gonna do it to you. But I use my powers for bad a lot. I use my Jedi powers for bad a lot when I was young. That's why I don't do shit now. That and the fact that, like Dion said, I got a bunk restriction if they lock me up. I can only sleep on the bottom bunk. I got a cane. Put me in there on the top bunk. I never get out of bed. Tiasha said that officer seems like he's an abuser in real life. Something wrong with that white boy. Something wrong with it.
Usually
Something
that's how
wrong with
it
it.
is. You know what I mean? If you like that on the job, it's usually gonna translate over into their personal life too.
Yeah. Yeah, you full Gestapo. You come on, man. Listen, once again,
he probably beat his wife and everything.
Well, whoever, right? Like he's a machine, right? He's a tool. He's a hack. If you are the type of individual who is willing to harm not just a female, because as a man, I don't believe you should harm a woman, but a young girl who is in fear, who is saying, please, she's fucking freaking out. You don't have the conflict resolution skills, even with all the training you supposedly have had, to say, I need for you to calm down. I need for you to calm down. I just want to talk to you. If you let this shit, by you letting it escalate, you are part of the problem. You stupid son of a bitch. What's wrong with you? Man, you better get yourself some business. See, on Outlaw Radio, we call a motherfucker. And you, my friend, are a motherfucker. Right? You are. I don't know your fucking, I don't know his name. What's his name? What's his name?
You.
Mr. Motherfucker. Officer Motherfucker. Right?
Motherfucker you.
How you doing, Officer Motherfucker? Don't you call me that? How did you learn my real name? My bad. She said, Mama Jenkins in the chat room, she said another drunk cop party where a man lost his life. This time they were a bunch of faggots having a butt calling. Damn. Michael Mattioli's. Ooh, wow. I don't even have no sound for that. Choked out, right? Like, was this a, you know, a what they call it, the blue, what was the bar on Police Academy where you go and the gay music come on, the Blue Oyster?
The Blue Oyster.
Was that what this was, Mama Jenkins? Is that what it was? Let's talk about it. Ruben Anderson. He said, tell it. Yes, sir. Ghetto May, what you do, man? What it do, man? How you doing tonight, man? Ghetto May got the flipped. He got the flipped music. Not chopped and screw, flipped. Gotta check it out. Flipped. Ghetto, me and Ghetto's done a lot of video work for us. So he's definitely a friend of the show.
David King.
I said what's happening.
David King, how you doing, my brother? How you doing? I'm glad David King's here because we're transitioning, because Paris had brought this up. I should say segueing. The Democrats are a little disappointed. They are very disappointed that black people is a little non-committal on our votes. But you know, we are the party poopers on Outlaw Radio. We poop on both parties. There's no need for black people to be velcroed to the Democratic Party. I'm not saying
they don't have black men to fuck the Democrat, fuck them. Stop giving them our vote. Fuck them. Let them suck whale dick. I wouldn't give a fuck.
Well, I don't have any inside information on how you get access to a whale's penis.
That nigga said, fuck the bitch and the click you claim.
Right.
Basically.
You claim to be the president, but I fucked your wife. Right. It's getting intense, man. God damn, Sean. Tell us how you really feel.
He popped out on the nigga.
Markel said most police officers are Moabs, bitter towards other black people and or racist pale beasts. Well, see, it's deeper than that. Here in Milwaukee, you got to understand where we live here in Wisconsin, right? 86%, 87% white state. 90% of the people of color live sequestered in the southeastern corner of the state between Milwaukee, Racine, and Waukesha. We talking about Kenosha, maybe? Beloit. There's some brothers and sisters in Beloit. Shout out to
Yeah.
y'all. Racine. But here's the deal. Like, so everything else is lily white. It's rural. It's Milwaukee is the major city. Madison is the next major city, but it's a small major city. There's no real major metropolis here. So when we talk about white is right, we live in a state where this attitude that we encounter with sheriff deputies and police officers and civil servants a lot of times is just, it's vicious. You want to say a lot of times, what the fuck is wrong with you? like yeah, been talking to somebody who work in a government office. You say, what the fuck is wrong with you? I don't even, but it's just because you black. It's black. And so here we've been indoctrinated for a long time to believe that the Democrats are pro us, and it's just not true. And as a matter of fact, I would challenge anybody to show me the major differences between the two parties. Right? Like, because there's no group that actively says, hey, we like black people, unless they bullshitting us. Hillary says she keeps some hot sauce in her purse. Biden said, you don't vote for me, you ain't black. Trump said, what the fuck you got to lose?
What do you got to lose? Fuck it. He told us, just say fuck it. What do you got to lose?
No, y'all ain't tripping. Right. I don't listen. Shout out to ENC Jordan, who is, and I was blessed enough to have a deep conversation with Ian a couple different times, and we talked about political identity, like in this country, and how divisive it is for us as people of color. Ian's from the hood. He's from Capitol, right? He's from Atkinson. You can't say this is a Lily Wash Carlton Banks type of brother, but his understanding is okay. Well, let's look at, who we had Christian on here the other night. Christian Harris, he said it's the only problem, biggest problem is always the lesser of two evils. I'm sorry, not with a B, but with a V. David King, we got to get you on here, man. We want to hear what you got to say. I told y'all, especially in the mayoral campaign, I'm looking for somewhere to throw my vote. I'm a little upset with little buddy downtown. Little dog ain't doing the job for me, right? Little bro. Come on now. We call him Obama 0.2.
Little dude.
Right, little dog.
Little man. Get little man his ball back.
Yeah, call downtown and say, look, I'm trying to speak to little dog. We don't know who you're talking about, sir. Man,
I got his ball.
I'm gonna give it back to him now. You a fool, man.
They click you into him.
Right. Do you really have my ball? What he said. Markel says, sad to see the old slave mill grinding slow, but grinding still. Damian Marley. Well, hey man, it is what it is. It's listen, I go back to that meme that said, I ain't gonna lie, being black is kind of dangerous, but this shit's lit. I actually enjoy this shit, right? Like, because the more shit y'all come up with to try and hold us back, the more creative I get. the deeper my game gets, like, oh, we ain't gonna fuck, we gonna figure out a way around that. Ghetto May said, fuck the entire bird. I'm a glass half empty type of brother. Glass half full, I should say, not glass half empty, glass half full.
I'm gonna say that kind of.
Say that again, Sean.
You don't want to be a glass half empty type of motherfucker.
No, you're right. You're right. Glass half full. I fucked that up. Players fuck up, right? Scorpios fuck up. David King said, my ears. Listen, we don't want to, the opinions expressed on Outlaw Radio are solely those of the motherfucker that said, know who to be mad at, right? He said he came like opera, you get a fuck you, and you get a fuck you, and your mama get a fuck you. Bro snapped. Who we talking about?
Sean, you talking about Sean.
Oh yeah, Sean. Okay, Sean is famous for giving out fuck yous, right? You gotta Sean. Sean need to do what I did.
Fuck him.
He need to do what I did.
Know what?
You need to consult with Kamar and get in touch with your chi. You got to get your. You got
to. No, you know what? I got some more fuck yous to hand out right quick if I can. So I got a real motherfucking problem, man. I really do with how we support every other motherfucking community, every motherfucking body else, right? But ain't no motherfuckers supporting us. I'm so tired of this bullshit. Then we talk about black and brown, but Brown ain't standing when we getting our ass kicked. So I got some questions to my brown brothers and sisters, right? What the fuck is up with y'all, man? So like I say, fuck y'all too, because you know y'all talk this win this shit together shit, but when it's time to put your motherfucking foot in, you don't want to play tag, motherfucker.
But Shar, let me ask you a question. Why would you ever think? This is one of the things I said is fun about being a black person. Why would you ever think that they would? Why would you think they would stand? Like, why do you think that they have their own solidarity?
My thing is this, right? You know, we talk about immigrants, and you know, we support immigrants, we support these people, we support all these motherfuckers coming over here, man, right? And you know, we support everything that these motherfuckers get. But goddamn it, when a motherfucker really gonna start supporting us? And when we gonna stop allowing motherfuckers to keep getting away with not supporting us? I want to talk about these motherfuckers for a minute.
I don't waste a lot of time on that conversation, because I think if you expect, this is the truth, if you expect people, and it's kind of like a funny perspective, if you expect people to support you like that, I think you're setting yourself up for disappointment.
I don't.
I think no. Hold on. I know even other races. Hold on, even other races, other cultural groups who have, like, I look at how Hmong people are bubbling up in the community now, and I don't expect them to come and stand with us on anything, because they've achieved their solidarity by supporting each other, right? The motherfucker got to support itself before you expect somebody else to support you.
I'm not talking about me per se, man. I'm talking about us as a people, right?
I'm saying,
I'm really tired of hearing my people talk about what's going on over in Israel. What's going on with the immigration over here? Oh, we gotta help them. They don't need our motherfucking help. They getting help over here. These motherfuckers getting bumped up on lift. These motherfuckers getting aid. These motherfuckers getting housing. They getting tax credits. They getting credit, everything. Fuck them, man.
I can't say that. I fair exchange ain't no robbery. Look, we're all in this. Who's it? Wait, hold on.
It's about us as black. It's
Claude
about
Anderson.
Us as black people.
Claude Anderson, who everybody loves to quote, always says, when we talk about racism, we talk about what that actually is. It's about individuals within their own races being concerned about themselves. That's what it is. I don't have a problem because that brown man is more concerned about his brown people than he is about me. I don't have an expectation for him to.
With his people either. But don't come over here trying to get us to be concerned with your people.
Well, I think you got to talk to your.
You don't give a fuck about us.
Who does? We don't give a fuck about us.
Well, yeah, we don't.
Right.
We don't, but I do. Right? As a whole, we don't, but I do.
Your conversations with your own people before you get to the brown man is what I'm saying. I don't.
Man,
I'm just saying.
I want something. Every motherfucker that knock on my door talking about vote Democrat, vote Republican, that's gonna be some of my motherfucking questions. Fuck y'all. So tell me what we gonna do about this immigration problem and how we gonna stop classifying us as second and third class citizens. If we can't have that conversation, bitch, don't knock on my door. Don't call my motherfucking phone. Don't look for a vote.
Ghetto made you right. Foxconn was a finesse move. We see that now. It's still operating in some capacity.
Hey, you know what? Hey, that go with what we saying. I'm with you on that, Sean. Like, I mean, I ain't saying with all the things that you're saying, but I'm saying I stand behind you. Like, we also have certain standards on where we give our vote to.
Right.
You know what I mean? And those are your standards. So I feel like, yeah, you should stand on that.
And let me say this for the record. I'm not anti-immigration. I'm not anti-white. I'm not anti-Puerto Rican. None of that shit. I'm just pro-black, right? I really am, man. And, you know, we really need to stop letting us first and foremost, but stop worrying about everybody else, man. You know, we really got to stop worrying about everybody else. We'll talk about what's going on over in Israel and motherfuckers talking about A. We got 80,000 fucking kids missing. Ain't nobody talking about them fucking kids missing.
Well, I think it depends on what show you listen to, because there's somebody talking about everything. It's the age of information. It's people talking about everything.
Don't
like
water my
in my
head down, okay?
in my chat room is people talking that I want to get to. Markel says I'm not black, I'm American Indian, and Israelite belongs to Israel.
Well, I'm a foundational Black American, goddammit. So now what?
And he says Trump is trying to out Trump. He's trying to Trump people. He said, I keep telling others we got bigger issues than worried about being fired tomorrow. David King said he would love, I think he means he would love to come on. We would love to have you, brother. I would love to hear your perspective. And I'd like to hear I would love to hear your plans that you have for what you want to do. Ruben said, bring him on. He's welcome. I've been saying this for months. We've been saying this for months. He's welcome.
Bring every
to come
motherfucker on.
Right. What he said. What he's yelling in the background over me. What Sean is yelling. Sean is a yeller. I gotta understand. He yells. I don't know why he's yelling. We can hear you, Sean. He said,
it's love. All love.
I know. You're passionate.
And bring everybody on.
You're an artist. You're sensitive about your shit. Edo May said less is more sometimes. Be thankful. Said he's trying.
Bullshit. When I get more like everybody else, Sean, then I'll be thankful for not having less.
Sean, I'm reading the chat room. They're not asking you questions specifically. They're commenting on this. I know. I don't need you to answer every time I read one of they because I'm trying to get through it. It'll take a long time. This shit should be called podcasting 101 and shit. We got to get Sean in line, man. Somebody send this nigga an instruction manual. He said, Ruben said, what's your call-in number? Let me get the banner up, man. Let me get the banner up. Somebody give Sean some coffee or something. No, don't give him no coffee. Give some ice cream or something. Let him calm down. When you was eating them noodles that time on the show, you was calm as shit. Now you just riled up.
There you go. Hey, bro. Don't do that. don't.
Let me catch up with my chat room. The number is 262-202-5131. And it's on the bottom of the screen. I welcome anybody. Who wants to call in with their perspective that can articulate themselves. Of course, I don't really do disrespect in terms of platform, but you're welcome to call in. And the chat room's popping. He said, when would you like? Whenever you available, my brother. If you want to come on tonight, I'll send you a link right now and you can come on.
Bring your ass.
Yeah.
Once again, I'm reading the chat room, Sean. So it's not. He's not saying
VIP like that.
Sean is like, fuck that, right?
VIP like that.
If how you get muted was a person, right? Ghetto said he's not exactly a downtown status nigga yet, a downtown daddy status nigga yet. Okay. Markel says I have a sovereign immunity. Hold on. Let me merge my calls. He said I have sovereign immunity with the state title 228 code 1604. I'm not black. We not black. Some are trying to suppress an ethnicity in America's biggest war. I'm black. I identify as black. Ghetto said, teach me. DM me and listen in. Sure. He said public law 98. I'm just reading the teleprompter. I'm Ron Burgundy. Ruben says he's snapping out. Let me see. Let me go through this. So I got Ruben on the line, so I ain't gonna read his comments because I'm gonna let him say them himself. How you doing, my brother? Is it
peace, can you hear me?
Is this Ruben or is this
not Ruben? It's Markel Dijon McCormick using that name. I'm not Markel Dijon McCormick though. I'm just using that name.
Okay. You're anonymous. I thought there was Ruben. What's popping?
No, I'm saying I'm the one on there that has that's using the profile account.
No, I get it. I'm saying, what's on your mind? Well,
first, I want to point out that a man is made of flesh and blood, and that the day we go under spells, like if someone says that you are Kevin such and such, that's coming with a spell because there's a difference between a surname and a given name. And so the name is spelled in all capital letters and given therein with a social security number. Social security numbers are dealing with business, so that makes you a transmitted utility.
Wait, now you called in before we talked about this because Rail talked about Rail. That's why you looked up and smiled because we had this conversation before about the social security number and the connection to what did you define it as, Rail? You called it a nautical. What was it?
Maritime law.
Maritime law. There we go. I said nautical. I'm stupid. Go
Well,
ahead.
It's more than that. I would say it's more than that. It is a contract that says you work with the government or you work with work with the government social security number. I have put in a claim since 2009 and 13 that I'm not a transmitting utility and I'm in the kingdom of heaven dealing with Israel. And public law 97-280 says that the whole Bible is law. So I'm Christ is one that's the seasons of the seasons. I don't deal with the participation of money or getting around it with money. I basically I'm a free man on the land, so I don't deal with bills and other things like that. You there?
Yeah, I'm hearing you. Let me catch my chat room. David King said, if we come together as a voice and stop looking for a leader, then we can change our community. We don't believe in the lone leadership theory either. I don't. Ruben says there's too many Ruben says I'm reading my chat room. Ruben says too many of us trying to be like them. He says, Ben told y'all about the Democrats. I can't really call a time on this show with this platform where we were ever pro either party. And I can even say that there's a it's a collector's edition Outlaw Radio that's so rare. If you could find it, it's probably worth money, where we had some conservative politicians in particular. One, it was a lady, unfortunately. She was very conservative. She was right-leaning. She was very Republican-based. She came on the show, and the shit got so out of hand, I cut the show off.
She didn't even know she was saying racist shit, right?
It was crazy.
You got
for
the bull wasn't.
No, well, this was pre-COVID. So we were actually all here in the studio together. We might have been about 5 or 6 deep, right, Kamar, on the show.
It was wild.
And it got so wild that
she said, "You set me up. You set me up."
Right. I deleted the show. I deleted it because I'm telling you, it was the chat room was. I couldn't even. People was calling, and then Jason was pissed. It was like, and I don't like to see a whole bunch of dudes yelling at one lady. She was the only lady who was here, besides my wife being, upstairs or whatever. But it just got to the point where it was like, I'm shutting this shit down. I can't remember her name, Kamar.
Shut it down.
But I had to.
Shut it down.
I had to because it just became chaotic. And that's why I'm saying I understand how hot those conversations get, but we've never chosen a side, right? Like, I'm very open and transparent about my votership and how I voted in past elections and when I didn't vote. But we stress the importance of local elections, and I think that's one of the main things that we need to focus on is local elections. Hold on, I got another caller. See if I can bring this caller in. Dion, what it do, man?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
Hey, man, I just wanted to check in with you fellas. How y'all doing, man?
What's
up?
Peace.
Oh, man, Sean, you already know how it is. How y'all been doing? I'm glad we made it to see another week. That's a blessing. I just got back from Alabama yesterday, so I enjoyed myself down there hanging out. I was in Montgomery. I'm ready to cut out again. Probably go to South Carolina and hang out.
Okay.
But just had to call and check in with the guys, man. See how y'all doing. Make sure everybody's still in table order around here. How was your birthday, Kev? I heard a little bit of it earlier, but I was going through one of them old Peckerwood towns and I lost signal and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right. My birthday, my
yeah.
birthday was dope, man. It was dope, and like I said, shout out to Westside
Mm-hmm.
Zeladon, the homie. I don't have much
Mm-hmm.
company, right? But he came through, we kicked it, we did what it was. I got to go out to
Mm-hmm.
eat. I seen Sean and his family. I felt like we was real
Oh, okay.
bosses. I said we was real bosses up in the restaurant and shit, and introducing the family. This is my wife, and this is my son. It was like we was some,
Oh, okay.
some Godfather shit. So it was,
I didn't sound somebody Sean, somebody vandalized your hut over there, bro. I see you. Man, they didn't vandalize. They tore that motherfucker down right after they left. Why would they do something like that?
Man, that's just the way you live, man. That's just the way you just be living, man. I mean,
Sean, what happened? What happened to the tent over there where your protest and where y'all was at?
I was going to pick my son up to school this morning, man, and driving past, the whole tent was in the street. They pulled it down.
Atkinson.
They pulled it down, man, and they did last night after everybody left because they was out there till about 3 o'clock last night. So from 3 to 6:30, they came through and tore it up. Then while we were out there about an hour afterwards, the same dude that came up there a month or so ago, little son, motherfucker, he just drove back through there.
Okay.
So I'm like, oh, yeah, man, they bold, man. They bold, man.
That's Atkinson for you. I mean, that's a real Atkinson thing to do is tear your shit down. Like, get the fuck up out of here.
You got those Indians mad at you. Man, you know what? Fuck them. Fuck them. Fuck them. Mm-hmm. Fuck them and they new American citizenship. Fuck them.
Mm-hmm. There's plenty of other ways you can humiliate and discriminate or, do that against a person. I gotta go now, but no, I'm about to go right now, but I want to say peace, family to y'all.
Peace. Yes, sir, my brother. Yes, sir. Peace to you too.
Peace, brother.
Hey, happy birthday to you, Kev. I'm November 7th. I'm November 7th.
We ain't doing all this. I'm 21st. Scorpio shit. I'm 21st.
Hey, hold on, man. Wait a minute. What you talking about, Sean? You always anti. I was just finna not mute you. Now you gonna make me do it too. See, that's what I'm saying, man. I try to be nice, man.
So you didn't want to shoot me for a month.
No, I would have done it. I don't usually hold back in these kinds of situations. I'm just saying, like you fuck that Scorpio shit. I just feel like you're just angry for no reason. David King, I'm trying to send you the link because he said he'll go in his office. I'm
actually feeling good. I'm actually in a good mood.
All right. Let me get.
It was three young ladies that was killed through reckless driving. When I was away, you know what I'm saying? Like, Milwaukee, man, it just got a way. It got a way of doing something to you. But, like Cuckoo Cow said, ain't no place like home, though. Ain't no place like home.
Yeah, rest in peace to those sisters. Yeah, rest in peace to those sisters. That's what I'm saying. We started off the show talking about the police chief getting hit by a dump truck today. So it's like,
I heard the police chief got hit.
Hey,
he about to get paid. That was a rooster coming home to roost.
You mean the chicken coming home to roost, right?
But a chicken coming home to roost. I ain't gonna say that. I don't know, man. I don't know if the chief did. Man, there's so much turmoil going on in this world right now, man. I ain't gonna even lie to you, man. Some of the little things that be going on locally, it's just hard to, it's hard to stay focused on it when you got so much going on globally. You know what I'm saying? You got the things going over there with the Palestinians and the Israelis, and you keep hearing people. If you're not riding with the Israelis, then you don't like them, and you see the people with the Palestinians. How they get stepped on, and it's just crazy, man.
Well, you see, Biden asked today. He asked today for a pause in the war. He said his reasoning is, okay, y'all done pounded him into submission. Can we just kind of pause because we now the face of the people, the women and the children that are being murdered and bombed and killed, who obviously are not all Hamas. People are that their awareness is being created. So he asked for a pause, but Israel and Netanyahu, their leader, said, "Nah, we closing in on them. We ain't done yet." And so it's
Mhm.
because everybody's saying right now, okay, you proved your point to
Getting the
Israel.
block
I don't know.
again on their ass.
Well, yeah, well, Israel is on some real Tupac shit right now. Like, you know, my fofo make all y'all kids die slow. Like, it's real, like, goddamn Israel. Like, so we're saying, I think the world should say, okay, chill out. But
And we supposed to respect that shit. Fuck
well,
out of
we
here.
don't have, you know, we don't have I keep saying, the one thing that we as people of color lack is the true mechanism. We don't have the mechanism within our government to really speak on our behalf. Anytime we get to a certain level in terms of our representation, we have to be a certain kind of Negro. You have to be an affable, user-friendly Negro. So what's really needed for the people has been gone. It's been washed out your system. You've seen so many backroom deals and dealt with so many special interest groups and lobbyists that you can't see the forest for the trees. That is the problem with our political system, is that everybody's not represented. It ultimately ends up being big bank take little bank, because those who have the money can smother and tranquilize anything grassroots, because who's going to have enough money to stay on TV, stay on the radio, stay in your face? I mean, the way Trump even solved the Rubik's Cube of the American government, which is something that I understand now is what he actually did. He showed you big bank take little bank. Motherfucker, I'm not even a politician. And I became the president of the United States. And for all intents and purposes, I changed public policy forever. You see more mavericks running with money running for office now than ever. And that was the danger that he presented, is that this is big bank. This is big money. This ain't about, you know, and it always was that. We realize that now, because you got to be a blue blood to be the president, right? Obama got through, but it was because he denounced a minister and Jeremiah Wright and made himself affable. That's another example of, nigga, you want to get up top.
Obama was chosen.
Right. And but
Obama was chosen.
and he had to distance himself. He couldn't say, as much time as he spent in Chicago, there's no way he didn't understand the minister's impact on the city of Chicago. There's no way he didn't understand it. He was rocking with Jeremiah Wright, who was a very, very, very radical preacher. There's no way he didn't understand what was really popping. All of a sudden, you go from this community activist who's working with the people who they love to this dude who's saying, I want to be everybody president, even though they paint pictures of you as a monkey and saying your wife is a man who didn't even really have her kids, and you still want to be their president. You became affable.
They said that she was blowing his back out, though. I was like, wow, that's crazy. That's disrespectful. Even like that. Why that man had to be making love to a man, though? That was like, you know, that was beyond anything. You know what I'm saying? But my whole thing, though, be with that, though, as far as looking at that situation, man, is that it's gonna be real dire coming up. You know, it's gonna be dangerous, man. And these white folks, man, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. That Southern, when you go to the South, man, it's different, man. It's different. I'm talking about them white folks, and they so trashy and they look nasty, and you could just see why they vote for, you know, because that's the only hope that they got, though. You know, I understand why they be mad, though, man. Because some of them people look like they just wallowing pig slop. You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting there looking at these big old nasty white motherfuckers, and I'm like, they barefooted walking all in the gas station, and I'm like, I see why they voted for why they voted for Donald Trump, because they ain't got no hope. They trash. You know what I'm saying? But I see President Obama. He got up there. It was talking about ain't nobody hands clean though. You know, and you know another thing I learned, because when I went down to Montgomery, Alabama, I went to the African American Legacy Museum down there. It's a real powerful museum.
Yeah, that motherfucker make you cry.
Yeah, that's my second time there. And I learn so much every time I go, because I'm just information. And could you imagine being a free black man in the North? It was illegal for you to go in the South, and they were sending people from the South to the North to capture people and bring them back to the South to enslave them. Could you imagine that, though? Could you just really imagine that, though? That's why, and you know, at first, when I first went there, I used to be mad that white folks was there. Like, they know what the fuck they did, blah, 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 this, blah, 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 that. But when it made me think about the conversation that we had with that gentleman last week, where he was like, I'm gonna get CRT, blah blah this, blah blah that. You know what I'm saying? And white folks really don't know. You know what I'm saying? They like some of them just don't know. They think everything that happened to us is by coincidence. All you niggers is lazy. Y'all don't want to get up off your ass to pull yourself up by your bootstraps, but they really don't understand that we had a whole system against. Not only did we still have a whole system against. Now, Kevin, I know you one of those type of people. Well, the white man, he ain't on his neck like that and blah, blah, blah. But I don't truly believe that, though. I believe that these hunkies got a hand in everything that takes place every day of our life. It might not be it might be more methodical now than it was then, because then, they was just flat out nigger, 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 nigger. Now they're tricky. You know what I'm saying? You would think that you moving.
It's not that I don't believe I'm not affected by white supremacy in this country. It's not that at all.
Mm-hmm.
What I say is I'm aware of what I'm up against. So number one, I never underestimate them. Number two, proper preparation prevents poor performance. So I'm not going into any situation not equipped with my mind. See, the one thing they haven't done to me is taken my mental tenacity. They haven't been able to beat me down enough where I give up on hope for myself as a black man. I don't buy into their inferiority ideologies. As a matter of fact, I'm very happy to be a man, a proud man of color. And I also believe that we have a built-in biological advantage over them that they're very envious of. I was just looking at today where they're now trying to correct one of the oxygen testing machines that was used in prescribing people with COVID, because these machines give low oxygen ratings in terms of your blood, how they would what they were basing what you had, what made you when you had COVID. They said, well, your blood is not getting enough oxygen, your circulatory system is not working correctly. And they showed that these tests were ineffective on black people, and it was giving misinformation. So they was playing with you, and that's why they was telling you, oh, the black community is being devastated by COVID. And we was like, nah, we ain't, motherfucker. But so there's misinformation that they'll put in your head to make you think, oh Lord, woe is me. This is why I don't like liberals, because it's not, oh, poor nigger. Oh, Kevin, I didn't know. Now I want to get back to what you said about CRT and white people not knowing. They do know. They do know. But what's the quote? The greatest trick that the devil ever pulled off is making you think he doesn't exist. So they'll say, I didn't know. There's no fucking way you don't know. There's no way as a white person you are not aware of what's going on in these communities. They'll tell you, oh, I just heard it's so bad down there. Those people are killers. Well, I thought you didn't know. Hold on. I thought you didn't know. So when you hear me saying I don't look at the white man as my biggest opposition in my community. I don't say the white man is who I got to get. I say empowering myself is the biggest task that I need to accomplish. I say being accountable for who I am and how I move, right, is my biggest thing. Therefore, I'm not one walking around saying, the white man got me down. I'm only as down as I allow myself to be. We bringing this brother in on the fly. This is Outlaw Radio. This is why I'd rather go live than do edited shows, because I can do stuff like this. So we have this brother in. He's coming in, and believe me, y'all, it takes a lot of courage to come in on Outlaw Radio like this, cold turkey.
Are you coming in right now?
He's on with us, Dr. David King. I want to give him himself to introduce himself to the Outlaw Radio audience. How you doing tonight, my brother? Let's check your sound.
I'm about to go. I love y'all, man. I'm about to listen. I love y'all. Y'all be smooth.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Peace.
Yes, sir.
Mr. King, Dr. King, I should say. How you doing? You still muted. We got to get your sound up.
Okay.
Take a minute.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Okay. I had to turn my mic on. I do my podcast through StreamYard too, so I had to make sure I was all set up.
Okay. Cool. Welcome to the show. How you doing tonight?
Man, I'm doing pretty good. Ian sent me the link, and I was just listening to you brothers, and I just want to start off by saying I love realness. I love raw realness, no sugarcoating, no beating around the bush, not trying to be liked, but be real. So I just want to thank you brothers for that,
Okay, appreciate that. Appreciate that. And we know individuals who know each other. So right, it's 6 degrees of separation in Milwaukee all the time for us as foundational Black Americans. So I've had a lot of people say, this brother represents this or this brother represents that. But I'm glad to have you here tonight to tell us what you actually represent yourself. And I know you are aspiring to run for mayor, correct? I want to make sure I'm correct.
Yes, sir. I am a candidate for mayor.
Okay. So first of all, I want to talk about why you would want to even run for this position. What makes you say I should run for this?
Well, if we be for me, I look at our city. I was born and raised here. Okay, I grew up on Fifth and Ring, Second and Burleigh. I went to Saint Elizabeth. I'm a burger for life. Victor Burger, Robert Fulton, Rufus King. So I grew
You
up
just
here,
fucked
and
up with the Rooster King.
Hold on, Sean. Let the man talk.
and so I don't like the way things are going in our city. I don't like the way our community, when we look at the Black community, the condition that it's in, and the way it's going right now, and I don't like the leadership. Period, because if we be honest, we got one white man that's controlling the city and the county right now. I mean, I think it's time for somebody that's real. I mean, I could have sold out years ago and just went along with anybody to go along to get along just to have money come in my way. But I had to look at myself. I had to look at myself in the mirror on a daily basis. And I teach my son that you can't sell out. So I would not never sell out. And so when we look at our city, we're our community, the Black community. You got to leave Milwaukee to prosper, and that's sad. You gotta go. You got to go to Houston or Atlanta or Arizona now to prosper. And you got all of these Black faces in office right now, and we're not prospering. It's a problem right there. So I think we needed somebody that's real, somebody that understand the game, somebody understand business, somebody understand the community. To me, I'm the best candidate for that. And I tell people the only thing that you can, when it comes to my campaign, the only thing I can tell you is I would never sell your trust. You might not like how I'm gonna go in there and do things, but you'll love the results.
Okay. And we know statistically, categorically, there are so many issues for people of color in the city of Milwaukee, right?
Yes.
And so I want to talk about a few of them, but I want to catch my chat room. Byron Terry said, "Love, brethren, blessed. I have conscious ones amongst me. You absolutely do, conscious and breathing." Mama Jenkins said, "Dion's on fire. Dion is always deep like that." She said, "Another lesson learned." Serena said, "Awesome, King." There's 2 King graduates also on this panel as well, myself and my brother Rail. So, so I know Sean is a little envious of that, but it is what it is. You can't. There's nothing you can really do about it, Sean. But I want to say this because we all have our perspective on what the major issue in this city is. Mine happens to be economic empowerment and poverty. And I think like the crime, just because I'm a 70s baby and I was born in the midst of a Black middle class that had the higher standard of living for Black people in this country. I grew up in the Rufus King neighborhood down the street, new cars, Lincolns, Cadillacs, Black business owners, Black home owners, Black men who had long-standing employment with all these different industrial organizations or companies. But I'm saying also witnessed the fall of that in the 80s via Reaganomics and this kind of thing, and watch the industrial structure fold and crack come in. And so I realized what poverty brought to the table. So my thing is always, if I see a real progressive, I wouldn't even say progressive, but a real plan to address Black economic empowerment in this city, I think it would start to help us go in the right direction. So what would be your plan for economic empowerment for people of color in Milwaukee?
First of all, we have to understand that I think it was James Madison said it best. He said, knowledge will always govern ignorance. And so we have to start to empower, right? If we look at our education system, the kids that's graduating out of MPS right now, 8% can read at their grade level, 6% can do math at their grade level. So that's a problem right there. And then we have to start to teach economic. We can't just give you money and you don't understand economics, right? So we got to start in a true leader empowers the people. It don't look for power. It look on how he can empower the people. And so we got all of this block grant money going around and they're giving this money and it's not affecting the lives of our community. People that's getting the money, they're eating, but the ones that they're supposed to service are not getting the right service so they can be self-sufficient. And we already know that for them to keep a job is to keep us ignorant. And if we start to empower people, they lose their job. Okay. They have to go get a real job. And the thing about it is, like, I taught my daughters, and my one of my daughters, she took my granddaughter at the age of 16 and put her on her credit card. So when my granddaughter got 18, she had a credit score of 750. And then she did it to my grandson. And my grandson he just turned 18. He has a credit score of 750. And I said to him, you need to think about buying a duplex. And so whatever you might want to do in life, he's talking about his branding and all of this. Okay, buy you a duplex. You got income coming in. You got a place to live. And now you can go ahead and work on your business and go ahead and do your branding or whatever you want to do. But if we are not teaching, they took out of school accounting. So our kids don't know how to do nothing about balancing a checkbook or any of those things, right? So what we have to do to teach, we have to teach them how to become economically strong. Now, you talked about the 70s, right? We looked how powerful the economic was in the 70s because they worked outside their community, but they spent that money in the community. And that's what made us economically strong. Okay. And so we have to go back to those things. We have to go back to what works, and teaching economics and teaching them about business and teaching them about credit, because credit is the new money. So we have to get them in. We can't put them in the game if they don't know the game. And so we have to put them in the game to not use their own personal credit to start a business, show them how to even get their business credit up and running. I'm also a business coach and a consultant. So I try to help them, empower them so they can survive.
So let me put this here though, because I've long stated, even when who we used to call Bad News Barrett was in office, and I love the fact that you talked about this. We call that white boy Bruce Wayne, who lives in the townhouse downtown and fights crime at night, and then gives $750,000 for something as simple as a county executive race, and then comes around and gives 250 to a mayoral election. So you're right, he is a very Negro friendly appearing on the surface. So we know he has most of the power. We also participated in the exposure of him when he had this contract that he wanted to basically take over as the county supervisor or the county executive. Remember, Kamar, when we bust that bill open where he was going to be in charge of having all the contracts and was just like, no. So once that was exposed, he said, I'm just going to quit then, and then I'll play the game. But I wanted to say this. I've always said that the mayor of Milwaukee should be an individual who is willing to get on an airplane and go and visit every Fortune 500 company headquarters that he can and say, I need for you to build warehouses. I need for you to build processing, distribution centers. I have so much urban, and people will say, well, Kevin, now you talking about bringing gentrification in faster, whatever. It is what it is. I mean, but I just think they don't fight enough to bring real jobs. I see the suburban counties, especially the wild counties. We talk about the wild counties that have one of the highest median income median incomes out of all of the counties in this country, Washington, Ozaukee, and Waukesha. But that's developed. There's factories out there. There's all kinds of stuff you didn't even know. I didn't know this was out here. You drive out there.
Don't forget Washington County too.
Yeah, that's part of the wild. I thought it said Washington, Ozaukee, and Waukesha. Yeah, that's the wild counties, right? So I'm saying, why don't we get a mayor who says, I don't need to be at every ribbon cutting for every community center and hugging on the Fonzie statue downtown with a bunch of smiling white women. I need to be on the plane going to talk to Microsoft. I need to be going to talk to Apple. I need to be going to talk to auto manufacture. We losing manufacturers. We're
Yeah.
losing. We're still losing industrial, parts of our economy. So I would just like to see a mayor who spent less time riding around the city. I don't need you to be here. That's why you have a common council.
Right.
You need to be on a plane somewhere trying to sell this city, right? So
Let me share with you. I run an organization called Wisconsin God Squad. Okay, in all of those counties which you just talked about before COVID, that's where I was taking the people. I was taking them out to Beaver Dam. I was taking them out to Hartford. I was taking them out to Allen, in all of those areas that was paying good money, good paying jobs. So in order for that to happen in Milwaukee, you have to have a mayor that understands business and that is business friendly, that can welcome business here, because they'll say, okay, before the tax break, what are we going to get? If you look at the people that you're going to hire, you automatically got tax breaks, because if they get food stamp, that's a tax break. If they're a felon, that's a tax break. If they under the poverty level, that's a tax. So you got all of these tax breaks, and all we have to ask them and say is, listen, you can bring in whoever you want, but for every building that you plant in that community, we need you to at least hire 30% of those people in that community. And if you hire 30% of those people in that community, guess what happened? Crime drops. Why? Because now they're working, right? They working. You invest in that community going to invest back into you. So if we can go out, I don't have a problem going to these companies, because I can talk the business language with them, because I manage $1 million companies, right? Managed for the Marcus Corporation. I managed for Pepsi Cola. I managed for JC Penney's. I manage these things. So I can go in there and have these conversations and say, I can show you exactly where your company will fit best in Milwaukee. And we will set up a training that would give the people the culture of your company, because most of our people don't understand manufacturing culture. They're coming from the restaurant, right?
So the hardest part becomes, and I have to say this because I'm fair, that how do we get these kids? Because this is part of the reason why those academic achievement gaps are so great, is because our children, all right, I gotta put it, I gotta put some pain where it ain't. Our children are not embracing that. They're not coming from homes where the families are supportive of that. As a matter of fact, a lot of them come from situations where you got 2 or 3 generations of illiteracy, right? And so I know it becomes more complicated, because we say, well, you can't really change that overnight, because, and I'm gonna be honest, if those companies come here, what's going to end up happening is the lower paying jobs, that will be the 30% of the community that gets hired, and they'll still bring all their administrators in from outside the city, from the suburbs, to come in and work. We have that issue right now because of Skippy Walker, when he got rid of the residence requirements and the residency requirements, and then we see where thousands of people flee to the suburbs, and then we say, well, we got a tax revenue issue, so we're gonna have to initiate a sales tax so we can generate more revenue. Well, if you made it mandatory for those who work for the city or the county to live in the city or the county, right? That's millions of dollars that we wouldn't have had to make these antique agreements with the state for, which is funny because it's a surplus of $7 billion, which I do believe is all taxpayer money in the first place. So you go and lay down. I say Milwaukee got on its knees, right, for Madison. And I've even heard this, another thing. I've heard Mayor Johnson say we got to repair our relationship with Madison. I say Madison owes us an apology, because how much money did Skippy Walker take for the housing crisis out of Barrett's hand? And it was no apology or nothing. So I think we need to be tougher in Madison and tell them, Madison, we generate more tax revenue than anybody.
Yeah.
You're gonna play ball with us.
But you know what their argument is? That as I do my research, what their argument is: why give you more money when you're messing up what you got? And so why, in other words, why continue? You keep telling us you got problems, you needed more money for MPS. MPS got more money, and it's the worst out of the whole school district in the state of Wisconsin.
$1 billion budget. $1 billion budget.
Right. And so what they're saying, I really believe if we put the right people in office and we start turning the city around, Madison will not have a problem giving more money. And now we can hold them accountable to give more money because now we're doing something different. You know, Einstein said it this way: the same system that that caused the problem cannot be the same system that heals the problem. You know, and so what we have to do is stop electing the same people in office to thinking they're going to change something, and they're not. So we have to, like you said, if our mayor is not even business savvy, how he going to go to Fortune 500 companies? That's not going to happen.
Well, I hate to say it, but this is exactly what happens when we allow white people to elect and tell us who to vote for. When we allow white people to define who should be our leaders, this is what you get: an affable, user-friendly Negro who's scared to really affect change. Let me catch my chat room. You're right, Sharina. She said civics too. Shout out to Lena Taylor. We've had Lena Taylor on the show many times, and she's explained people just don't understand civics. They don't know who, they don't understand who represents them, who's responsible for what. You know, if my street got holes in it, who should I call? If I need more police presence, who should I call? So civics is important. Mama Jean, oh, this is Byron Terry. He said the black MPD chief of police being involved in a crash should make every Milwaukeean open their eyes. It's no different than gun violence. The color boundary enables the propaganda, and who you sleep with in the privacy of your home, and or whether you wear panties or drawers, is a distraction that won't help my portfolio. Vote if you can, Negro. Shout out to Randy Jones. Shout out to Randy Jones, friend of the show. Randy's been on the show many times, also ran for office some years back. He said change, right? I told y'all when when Obama, after he got elected and we seen how he basically played to the masses, I said change must have stood for come help a nigga get elected, because once we voted for you. So if you ever hear somebody use that, that's mine. Mama Jenkins said the other day they had Foxcom on the news, but I noticed not one black person was in the circle. Dr. King, just being a citizen of the community, now you have approached the leadership in office with your platform plans. She's cut off. I guess she'll finish it. He said Act 10 and divide and conquer was and is the secret. If you colored continue to vote in Milwaukee and Madison just because you can, they don't know how the election will turn out in the end. Well, there's just this report in the Journal Sentinel and the discussion of the Democrats really being disappointed that black voters are disillusioned with the Democratic Party right now. And I don't know which party you represent, so I always have to ask, which way do you lean when it comes to your political identity?
Well, I lean in the middle. I ran on the Republican ticket, but when I was with the Republican ticket, they was beating the bass drum and I was beating the snare. Because I'm like you. I don't hold my tongue with nobody. If you wrong, you wrong. And so when we talk about the civics, right, and who to go to, let's look at 2020 for an example. In the 2020 election, only 91,000 people in the city of Milwaukee voted for a mayor. But that same year, over 200-some thousand voted for president. So if they keep us ignorant to local government, then they stay in power, right? Because they only got us running out for a governor's race and a presidential race. They don't get us to run out for school board race, the district attorney's race, the circuit court judge race. You know, they don't get us out on the mayor's race. They don't get us out on the alderman race. Do you want to hear some scary numbers?
I would love to. I love scary movies.
Okay, so let me give you some scary numbers real quick. In District 1 in 2020, for the automatic District 1, 4,264 people voted. Okay? In District, here's the scary one. District 8, 2,127 people voted for an alderperson in District 2, right? So District 15, 2,834 voters. So they kept they keep the voting low so they can just stay in office. And then we wondering why are they staying in office and why are they continue to win? 5 aldermen didn't even have a challenge. 12 county supervisors didn't have a challenge. 5 judges, circuit court judges, didn't have a challenge. So when you start to look at this is the problem. We don't teach them that local government is the most powerful government ever because everything happened locally, right? Everything that deals with our lives happened locally. The potholes, our safety, our education, right? Now we got a sale tax coming up that's going to hit us, but it's not going to hit New Berlin. It's not going to hit Brookfield, right? So now you're looking at all of this, and then I don't even want to get started on this so-called sanctuary that Milwaukee County just became a sanctuary for transgender and non-binary people. So it's just amazing how the things are happening, and we're just sitting around and listening to somebody say, oh, well, we couldn't do this because Republicans. Wait a minute, I thought you the CEO of the city. You have a budget that you deal with.
You know what? I love those numbers that you presented. And Vince Toney, who's a friend of the show, who has run for alderman several times, has brought those same numbers to the show to talk about low voter turnout, right? And we had a very lengthy discussion in the last election when he looked at the first district in particular, which is where I grew up and where Vince lives now. And and I think it's, in terms of being a black district, is one of the more prominent ones because it is Capitol Drive and where it is. And so it's Chocolate City. And so we had a white person, Scott Epicet, we called him the white troll. He said, well, it's all your fault because 91% of black voters vote Democrat. And I said, well, in Milwaukee, there's only a 12% turnout for black people in voting. So that's like a distraction of a statistic to say 91% of us vote when only 12% of us vote. Right. So you can't really use that and say it's our fault. But you're right. The voter turnout is scandalous. And I think the reality of it is because a lot of us in this city are disillusioned with politics, and because they don't understand civics, and because I've met so many brothers who say, Kev, I love your show, but y'all be on that political shit. I don't do that. I don't vote. But then I say, well, then don't complain. If you don't vote, then when it's the worst the city gets, don't say nothing. Because if you're going to live in this system, the only way we can affect change is through participating in the democratic process. But in order to do so, we need to be more informed voters and stop letting my thing with liberals, oh, you poor Negroes. You want free puppies? We'll give you free puppies. You want cell phones? We'll give you cell phones. You poor Negroes. And then we'll take the rest of the block community development block grant money and divert it to downtown projects so that they can improve that infrastructure for the first round of gentrifiers. Well, they stand in luxury towers downtown, but pretty soon they'll be coming to a neighborhood near you. Sell all the crack you can right now, right? Shoot all the guns you can right now, because in 2-3 years, your ass won't be living there and they'll be drinking lattes on the corner, sitting, walking their dogs. Look at New York.
On your porch.
Right. Look at New York. Look at Detroit. Look at Denver. Look at Boston. Look at Philadelphia. Look how they gentrified it.
Right, but they had to let them die. They had to let them just do what they do, kill each other, let it die. It's just like the island that the Bahamas used to own, and they called it Trash Island. And all they did was put trash on there. And a man came and brought it from them and put a hotel on there. And today people go there and it's called Paradise Island. Right. And so we really don't understand what we have here and why they're doing it. And the sad part about it, they're using black faces to do it. Look, I tell you what, we all grew up in Milwaukee, right? And remember they used to have Juneteenth Day from Burleigh to North Avenue? Mm-hmm. And then they cut it to Center. Mm-hmm. And then they pushed it back to Concordia. And everybody got happy, but they didn't see what they was doing. Where did they put the horses? On Center Street. Why? Because they was driving the herd back into your own neighborhood. If you're going to act a fool, you're going to tear it up, you're going to tear up yours. They didn't let them go nowhere south of Center Street.
And I love Juneteenth references, but I'm still upset with what happened at Juneteenth this past year.
Right.
I'm still upset that, because then the finger starts to come back towards me. And we talk about this on our show all the time, that what's affecting black people is systemic as well as systematic, because there's a systematic nature to it. But we've inhaled this. We've eaten depression. We've consumed segregation and discrimination. It's our mantra. It's a badge of honor to say, I'm from the roughest goddamn neighborhood in this city. and I'm standing on it. It's a you get more respect in the hood for coming home from the pen than you do for coming home with a bachelor's degree, right? And that's Ice Cube. Say, why more niggas in the pen than in college? That's America's Most Wanted. Byron Terry's in the chat room. Let me catch up with my chat room, y'all. I'm glad to have his brother David King here. I should say Dr. David King. We're gonna have to.
It's David. You can say David. You can say David.
I like to give people their just due, right? I'm PA. I'm an ABD. I'm all but dissertation in terms of my PhD. So if you finish that dissertation and earn it, I'm gonna say doctor.
Okay.
But no, he says numbers and facts don't lie. This is Byron Terry. People do. Sharina says, why can't we vote Black Power, unite black people? I want to start the Afro Party. I really want to create the market on the black vote. I really do.
But you know, that's a big market right there right now. Did you see what's happening in Chicago?
I haven't. What's their latest move? Chicago's always a little bit more progressive than us.
Well, Chicago, the blacks in Chicago gave notice to the Democrat Party because they have now taken care of the illegal immigrants, gave them places to live, paying nurses $24,000 a month to take care of the immigrants, paying the security guard $17,000 a month to watch over the immigrants. And then they gave the immigrants $9,000, and they're supposed to be paying their rent for 6 months. And you got blacks living on the streets.
Sean, I didn't know you was here. You don't have to clear your throat. You got something you want to add to the conversation? Clearing his throat.
I'm just hey, listen, man. When you look, confirmation is confirmation, right? Like I was saying earlier, what's happening, Dave?
What's
like
up, Sean?
Earlier, man. Fuck these motherfucking Democrats with that bullshit. Fuck these motherfucking Republicans with their bullshit, right? We really need to get together somehow, man, and let these motherfuckers know that if there's not a black agenda presented and accepted, fuck y'all.
Well, Sean, don't you think that's one of the things that the first thing that they do to a black politician when he or she gets elected is they let them know that if you come with that black agenda stuff, we're not going to support you. So most black politicians run from it. That's what I'm saying. Oh, Barry, we used to call him Barry on here. We didn't call him President. We called him Barry. When I first heard Barry say there won't be a black agenda, and then I saw him disassociate himself from the minister, and then I saw him run from his pastor, I said, this dude ain't for us. He just said there won't be a black agenda, and we still voted for him in record numbers twice, and I'm guilty. That's how dumb I am. I voted for him twice.
Let me say this, because when we start to look, right, and we allow them to get us emotional, because black people, we are emotional, right? So they get us emotional, they get us angry, and then they get us to vote for somebody. Like if blacks would have did their homework on Biden, right? When he says, the moment I'm elected, I'm going to sign the Equality Act. Equality Act had nothing to do with black folks. It had to do with transgenders going in the bathrooms. It had transgenders playing women's sports. And then I'm wondering where the women at, because watch this. When it was International Women's Day, they gave a transgender the award for women.
Right. Bruce, Caitlyn Jenner was Woman of the Year. Right. Say, how you buy that?
And there was no uproar from the women.
Well, I mean, women made up, white women and black women voted for Trump. They were part of the reason, especially white women. White women came out for Trump. They really, when they voted, they made a difference in the election because they didn't like Hillary, and I had my issues with Hillary as well. That was just you're right, though. I voted off emotion in that election because of what had happened at the Capitol and what I was seeing from Karens and Beckys all over the country. I voted for Sleepy Joe. I have to admit my wrong. I voted for Sleepy Joe. I just wanted Trump ass gone. I'm sorry. I did. I've apologized. community several times, but I
It's
just
your
want
fault, Kevin.
it's
Your
my
vote
fault.
did it.
Tell 'em.
Your vote did it, man.
I
Your
had
vote
had
put it
enough.
over the top, man.
I had enough. My neighbor, white dude, put up the Trump flag. I said, "This is enough." And
Hey,
so
We
I
just
said,
got to get him out of office.
Hey, I wrote a book, and I want to give each one of you a copy of this book. And it says, why it's important to stay in the middle from a kingdom perspective. And chapter four, it talks about if you ever want to fix anything, we have to do an exodus. We have to do an exodus out of both parties so we can go back to dealing with what we really are concerned about, which is economics and safety and education. And so, because those are not going to be addressed until we make up in our mind to come together and put people in office that says, okay, listen, you got 4 years to do what we want done, and we're going to grade you on this, on safety, on education. So we don't grade nobody. We just put them in there and just leave them. And so we have to come together and say, you know what? I'm not looking for a person to vote based on party. I vote based on my principles, right? Look at right now. In school, they're indoctrinating our children to confuse them with their sexuality from the age of K4, right? And they got books in the schools teaching children how to give grown men's oral sex or talking about anal sex to our children. But we're not saying anything about that. Obama, when Obama was president, blacks thought they was going to get some kind of rights, some kind of protection, something. They got nothing. The LGBTQ got it, right?
"You got everything. Move
Hey,
all
that's
the
because
way
black
ahead of
folks
us
did.
in
That's
line."
because black folks
And, and
don't
then
listen.
and then Black Lives Matter started, and everybody thought, oh, we finna get something from Biden. And who got it? Transgender got it. Now, be careful, because there's a group out now that's called MAP, minor attractive person. Those are the pedophiles who's coming for their rights now.
Yeah. Byron says Negroes won't vote, whatever their excuse is. He said Negroes have an opportunity to get something done. They're going to blame you for failure either way. Don't you understand that? Trump said, and referenced his own son as a good boy. He's a good boy. All you Negroes aren't even good boys. He said, what is the alternative party? The niggeration party? Well, I mean, it's crazy. You're right, Sharina. She said the alphabets have more rights than blacks. He said not a Jews have been officially added to the Black Lives Matter LGBTQ ABCDEFGHIJK agenda. Serena said, yeah, I should just put a write-in candidate in all our puppets. Well, see, I tried that when I tried that with one time, and I can't remember what the election was. I put like Lionel Richie in, and Lionel Richie didn't get no votes. I did the write-in, and he didn't really get no votes. Rudy Jones said we need to bring in term limits. Well, yeah, Byron, but see, now he's referencing Sexy Red because that's the kind of thing that they give us to keep us divided and keep us distracted, because there's more news on Sexy Red right now because she said it's pink and then my booty's brown, and people went crazy, and nobody's even thinking about the incarceration rate or the poverty rate, or like my brother just referenced, the academic achievement rates. They're so distracted. It's hard to pay attention when somebody's playing in your face. She said the world we're living in is wow. It is, but I don't think it's changed. But I did want to ask this question because we got about 20 minutes left, and you got to come back. First of all, let's say this. I want you to come back.
I would love to come back. I appreciate you brothers letting me come on tonight.
Yeah, it's because we've been saying, we've been saying week in and week out.
I think David been secretly listening to us too, because some of his answers really sound like some of what we say.
Nah, I'm not.
Okay, first of all, Sean, this is my first time listening to y'all. And Sean, you know I talk like this all the time. So I'm consistent in the way I talk. First of all, I don't change for nobody. And this is why parties know they can't trust me, because I'm going to be me and I'm not going to go along with what they want me to do. Let me say this. I am the head coach, basketball coach over at Kingdom Prep Lutheran High School. And I got the whole program. And I meet with the ball players and their parents. And I say, listen, basketball is plan B. I need to know plan A. because I got to help you get to plan A. If you're trying to open up a business, you want to go to college, I got to use all the connections that I have to make sure you get successful. So, and for me, that's what it's all about. If we as us educated black men who just keep it real does not invest in the next generation, then they're going to go along with the lies.
Right.
Can I say one more thing?
What's
because
that?
you said something, and I want to point out something to you, bro. Right? Say if you get in office, right? We don't need you to do you. We need you to do us.
Well, see, if you know me, Sean, you know I'm always going to do us.
I'm just saying, because you said you were going to do you, and the problem now is that we got leaders that continue to do them, right?
No, wait, Sean. Sean, hold up.
I'm not you, David. I just said what you said, bro.
No, but listen what I said.
Right?
When I say that I'm going to do me, is what I'm telling you is I'm not going to be in nobody's pocket where I got to force to do whatever they want to do. I'm out here doing me because I have always my track record over 20 years I've been doing me, helping people get jobs, running transitional home for men that was on drugs and alcohol and coming out of prison, running transitional home for women. But I never touched. But what I'm telling you, Sean,
we don't want to talk over each other.
Right? And I was just pointing out for you, bro. I'm not saying that you won't get in there and go do you, but I'm saying for people that don't know you, right?
I can't stand noises in my headphones.
For the first time, and who are going to critique you, right? People are going to be very, very critical, right? Anything that you say, they're going to find fault if they can. So I just want to point that out, bro.
I get you on that, but what I want everybody who don't know me, all you got to do. I've been the same all my life. I help people. I don't know what that is. It's not mine.
Sean, is that your phone? Somebody about to get you known for opening up some chips or something on the show. Like, what is that? It's very annoying. I
somebody sound like somebody doing a Rubik's Cube or something.
Right. I don't know. Like, right. You playing track and field on Nintendo, but you got to keep hitting the little button. Hold on. Sean, hit mute once. Okay.
You said what?
I got to get this
Did
sound.
you mute me again, bro?
Not yet, but I'm about to, because I got to get this sound out of my ear. It won't let me live. Y'all hear that, right?
Yeah. Like somebody chewing a water bottle.
Right, and we don't normally have that, so that's what I'm saying. I pride myself on my audio being very clear. But my brother David, I want to ask you a question before I let you go. Before we bring you back on, did that get rid of the sound?
Yep. Nope.
No, it's still there. Okay. It's driving me crazy. The church, because we just talked about here the Church of God in Christ basically directs the faith-based initiative money, and we know that represents a very large portion of funding that they get in their community to run their ministries or what have you. And I want to know, because I've said that I feel like the church has lost its place in the black community. And I'm a PK, so I was raised in the church by the Southern Baptist, the old school Jesus people. And what I don't see now is them being active in the community. And I know when I was running with the Panthers, the churches, the religious community here wanted nothing to do with any initiative that we launched. They wouldn't support us. We did a block cleanup. The people from St. Mark looked at us like we was garbage. But I do believe that they control a lot of influence. And I believe if they preached to, and I'm not saying they don't, because I'm not in every church every week. But I think if we said, hey, we're going to have to take a little bit more of a role in making sure that these politicians that come in our churches that we go to for money are more accountable. Right, because I know Barrett was reaching out to a lot of them, kicking dollars in, and they were saying, "Well, don't mess with them big black Panthers." But how would you include because black people need Jesus. I'm just gonna go ahead and say that, whether you don't, people don't like it or not. Black people, y'all need Jesus, right? I'm looking at the community. I'm saying y'all need to learn the power of prayer, myself included. I should say, we need to get back into having a sense of morality, right? This is why a lot of the LGBTQ stuff flows in our community now, because we drink Kool-Aid now we used to didn't drink. Because grandmama said, boy, don't you do that. Don't Big Mama said, no, that's a sin. And so what would you say to the religious community in terms of their responsibility to, because I mean, a lot of the biggest churches are in the worst neighborhoods. And so I just like to know, what would you say to that community? Because you got to they have to vote too. And you really got to win them over, because they vote more than the brothers who go to the clubs. You'll meet a lot of brothers on the street who say, I got you, man. Black power, brother. I hear you. And they ass ain't voting. Church people who be in Perkins vote. So what would you say to them?
Well, first of all, coming from a pastor standpoint, because I am a pastor, I've been a pastor in the city for almost 30 years. I'll just keep it real. And the real part about it is the city is in a condition based off the money, the 30 pieces of silver that the church has been getting to sell Jesus out. I mean, let's just keep it real, because they don't want to push these people to vote for certain people. And then these laws that are being made, right? I think the church, we have to repent to God first, because we didn't vote our values, right? Then we got to repent to God, because we're not the pillar of our community anymore. And we're only being motivated to get them out to vote based on how much money we got, right? Because let's take a look. Every election, you got a group called Souls to the Polls that try to get them to the polls. That's because money behind that. You never hear a rally, Souls to Jesus, right? You never see, I give you a prime example. A gentleman came from Waukesha, came down to my church. My church was on the corner of Richards and Concordia, right? And he said to me, before we even meet, let's take a walk. And we walked down by Buffalo. And he asked somebody just out of the blue, do you know who the pastor of that church is right up there? They say, yeah, you're walking with him. So we walked down from Concordia to Burleigh. He said, do you know this man? They say, yeah, that's Pastor King. So we walked 4 blocks north, south, east, and west of my church to see if the people knew me. And then he said, if the people didn't know you, you're not doing ministry, right? So one of the things that I want to do as mayor is I want to remove that lie, separation of church and state, because that's not even in the Constitution. So that's a lie, right? That's a lie right there.
Right.
Huh?
It's not.
Right.
It's not. I'm agreeing with you. It's not. I said that on the show one night. And people was like, Cam, it's not. That's not real.
It's not real. The only thing the Constitution says that that this country cannot be a one religion country, and the state cannot govern the church. All right? But what the church messed around and didn't read the Constitution, and they went and got 501c3. And that's when the state was able to get into the church's business, right? So when you look at the church, we didn't vote our values. We voted for a party. We was led by a party. So we didn't influence the people. We was manipulating people to vote for someone. And now watch this. The Democrat Party pushed LGBTQ. They push transgender, right? And then the pastors is in the church preaching against homosexuality, but telling them to vote for somebody that's going to make a law for homosexuality. So we messed it up, and we got to ask for forgiveness. And so we have to be the pillar of our community again. One of the things I want to do is I want to put the social service back in the church, because that's where it came from. The church used to be the social service. We was the one that took care of our communities, right? So we have to get involved. There's no way the community going to change if the church is not involved. So we have to, and here's the thing. We're not just going, as mayor, I'm not just going to go look for a church. I'm looking for the church that's already working without no money, because I know if I give them some money, they're going to do more work, right? So we got to look for that. Look for the churches that has a food pantry, but that's coming out their own pocket. Look at the church that's doing an after-school program to make sure our children can read. Look at the after-school program that's a youth ministry, but not a daycare to help those families can go to work. See, the church got to do that. And if the church starts to do that, then you will see the change in our community.
don't you think that the next step of this is for the Christian community and the Nation of Islam to say, hey, we both represent a lot of black people. Let's get rid of the division between us and work together. When I'm talking about the Afro Party, I'm talking about having the nation involved and the Southern Christian Leadership Organization. Why can't they sit down with the Minister Farrakhan and his people and say, hey, this is about big picture politics? I think Minister Farrakhan said it best. He said, we ain't gonna argue about religion because we don't know what the hell it means anyways. We'll argue about that when we get free. He said that. So,
well, see, I tell people this, and this is how I think, right? I can work with Muslims because all I got to do is find a common ground. We want safety. We want prosperity, right? We can work together. We can debate later if we decide to debate on religion later. Let's fix our community right now. For example, I tell people, everybody that's a Packer fan, I'm sorry for you. I'm a Steeler fan. But we both love football. So let's talk football, right? So, I mean, this is the only way we're going to be able to fix our community. Quit talking about Democrat, Republican. No. Do you want safety? Yes. Do you want your children to have a better education? Yes. Do you want to be able to come home and your stuff is still in your house? Yes. Okay. 7% of the blacks in Milwaukee is homeowners. Only 7%. So do you want to ever decide to own your own home? Yes. Okay, let's do the things. Let's come together and do those things. That's why my slogan for my campaign said, meet me in the middle and have a mind to work. Let's come together and let's work. And then we can argue who grass is the greenest or who grandbaby is the cutest. But we got to work for it. I give you an example. In the Bible, when God was giving the children of Israel Jericho, he gave some of them their inheritance on the other side of Jordan. But you know what he told them? You are not allowed to enjoy your inheritance until you cross over and make sure they got their inheritance. If we had that kind of mindset that we can't relax until the next group get theirs, then we can do it. But the problem is we have black people or black leaders that's sitting at the table, but the black people is on the menu.
Well, yeah, they're user-friendly Negroes. I got a lot of people in my chat room hollering at you.
Yeah, they ain't praying for the community, they praying on the community.
There you go.
Said, I agree, prayer taken out of schools. Now our babies are being murdered by mass shooters. Byron Terry said, God is not finished with you yet. She said, respect, Dr. King. Shout out to Keith Terry, my brother Keith Terry. He said, David D. King, I support you, sir. Keith is a very, 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 very influential brother. If you know him, I can't wait till the movie get made. I just want to make sure that I'm in it because it's going to be an incredible story. He said we need to line up early behind candidates. I totally agree. That's why I say let's get a majority amongst the minority and show them what we can do. He said, this is Randy Jones. He said, King, you're exactly right about the church. She said, off subject, Dr. King, I would like to, she said she liked the grand piano. You know, women all in the background, like, that's a nice piano.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
I want the Afro party. She said this stuff is all spiritual. Listen, once again.
Can I touch that one right quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. She is absolutely right. Because they tell us that we are in a spiritual battle, right? This is spiritual warfare, good versus evil, right? But and you're a PK kid. You heard them say the anointing trickles from the head down, right?
Right.
But if the head of the city is spiritually dead, how are we gonna win this battle?
Right. Exactly. I agree with you totally. I hear. See, we've on this show we've gone into the realm with us because we don't like for things that can be utilized to divide us to actually become divisive. And not everybody that I encounter as a brother believes in the gospel the way I do. They don't interpret, their spirituality is in a different place than mine. I don't feel any less about them. I don't disrespect their opinion. I think, we as people of color need to really just embrace spirituality. I think in order to embrace religion, you have to understand spirituality. And I think spirituality comes first. Religion kind of puts it in a box and puts you in a certain place. It makes up your mind for you before you know what the problem is. And so I say we need to be more spiritual as a people And I think a lot of us just don't even acknowledge the fact that it's something greater than our understanding. And that leads to us being ignorant a lot of times. So when I say religion, I don't want my people out there who say, well, Kev, I ain't with the Bible. I ain't, I know all of the stories about. I mean, we look at the imagery that we've been stolen with these Italian popes talking about this was Jesus, and we talk about this Bible that was the slave Bible in which stuff was omitted and edited so that they could utilize that to keep us in a place of passiveness so that they could do what they do. But I'm just talking about the raw spirituality of it. I don't get into the minor details about was his name Michael or Jesus. Wasn't no J back then or whatever. Like I don't get tripped up in that. If you can acknowledge that it's something bigger than you, and I think if you ain't praying to somebody, Kamar said, Kev, I don't pray, I meditate. To me, it's the same thing. That's semantics. It's the same thing. As long as I know that you can go to a place where you can get focused.
I do pray. I think, you know what I mean? It's just that I don't pray in a sense like everybody else would. You know what I mean?
There we go.
I feel like when you pray, you talking, and when you meditate, you listening.
Okay. Well, and ain't nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that, right? Like, so that's what I'm saying. We let them confuse us, and we shouldn't. Byron said religion has nothing to do with the unadulterated truth. This is what I'm saying. This conversation is so organic, it could go miles and miles. Unfortunately, I don't like to beat the drum too long. I like for people to be able to like get some rest, and out of respect for my brother's time, and my other brother's time, y'all know it's 9:51, so we got to close. As my pastor, Reverend Neighbors, used to say, the doors of the church is open, right? Close, right? So I want to, Sean. I want to give you, because you've been patient tonight. And I have to reward Sean for being patient, right? Because Sean is the scream. He'll start so I want to give you a chance. What's your final thoughts before we close? I want to give everybody a chance to spit their final thoughts, but what's yours as we get ready to close?
Besides fuck all of them. So we need new ideas. We need fresh ideas. We can't keep recycling the same shit. I'm fucking with Kennedy for the presidential shit, and I might vote for you for mayor. I don't know.
I am the mayor of Chocolate City, so go ahead.
Hey, I'm saying, bro, why not? You know what I mean? And we have an outlaw cabinet or some shit. But yeah, man, we just gotta, we have to have somebody that's gonna concentrate on us.
Okay.
And yeah, so
there we
that's
go.
what I'm on.
Kamar, where you at with this? I didn't want to speak for you when I talked about the prayer thing because you sitting here.
No, it was all good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that's why I said I don't pray like in the sense that everybody else would. You know what I mean? My prayer is more inward. You know what I'm saying? To the whole energy type of demonstration. You know, I feel like God is that energy that's flowing through all of us. The same energy that's growing, making everything grow. The trees, the grass, it's in us too. You know what I mean? We made out of the same shit. So, you know what I mean? When I pray, it's a little different. I ain't talking to Jesus, you know what I mean? But I'm praying.
Okay. As long as you got to believe in something, right? Real, I know your roots go deep. I know your roots go deep because you are akin to a PK as well, such as myself. And you've been, like you referenced, you've been a preacher, you've been a Sunday school teacher, you've been in the church, and you were in the Kojic church, which even gives you a so what's on your mind? What's
you can't join in, you gotta be born in. It's just me, I still vibe with everybody. You know what I'm saying? I tell people my religion now is love, knowledge, and understanding. You know what I'm saying? We can come together, get an understanding that we can come to an agreement with and commit to. We can move as one, and that's what it's about. Just setting aside minor differences and isms and schisms and doing what's going to benefit ourselves, our family, and our community. It was refreshing just to hear the pretty much confirmation, because over this weekend I was in that business boot camp from the Black Chamber of Commerce, and they were just discussing in there how, you know, us as a people don't understand civics, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't understand civics. I was one of those people that said I'm just gonna shut up, sit down, and grind to get my money up. And when I got enough money to buy politicians and lobbyists, then I'll worry about politics. So it's just more so confirmation, opening my eyes further to the point where I do want to take the time to learn civics as I learn my business side, just to learn civics, because the businesses that I'm in will take civics. I make wine. I'm a hemp processor. I deal with cannabis. So them shits that I would need, politicians
gotta
to
know
rub
about it.
elbows with,
Can't
so
be no square. You got to be aware.
right,
Yeah.
right. So no, it's refreshing, and I don't believe in coincidence, and I'm grateful for the confirmation and just the reminder that we can do this if we come together and not look at the whole big thing, but look at the small pieces of it that we can impact
Micro
and
versus
affect
macro.
type
Yeah.
shit. Right.
Dr. King, first of all, I want to say shout out to you for coming on impromptu. Because a lot of people don't want to rock with the Outlaws, right? They scared they scared we might hurt their feelings or something. So they don't want to. A lot of times they act like when you watching it, you got your hand over your eyes,
But
but
you
you
know
want
what,
to pull
Kev?
your finger.
Hey, they know we got some viewers. You know what I mean? That just might ask them real hard questions. You know what I
Right.
mean? And we
Yeah.
live. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So there's a lot to be worried about if you got something you hiding.
Fuck
You
'em.
know what I'm saying?
I ain't gonna
Fuck
hurt
'em.
you. I'll take you out in deep water, but I ain't
Hey,
gonna let you
but you
drown.
know what? Hey, but it's one thing I can't say that I saw. Like, you know what I mean? I know it ain't never no ambush towards no politician. It ain't never
Yeah.
an ambush. If we got something that we know, you know what I mean? It's some time before the show. We get a chance to talk about it before we go live
Yeah.
and see where you at. You know what I mean? So
No, it's not a
yeah, so
taboo.
they be really scared for nothing, man. You know what I mean?
Right. I ain't, believe me, I could yeah. My brother Dr. King, we gotta have you back. I want to thank you for coming on. And next time we'll have way more time to talk about, because people want to vote for me. But we want to know why we should vote for you. So first of
Yeah.
all, tell the people how they can support you in the meantime, because I want to start. We gotta get a friend request so I can start sharing your information in the People's News Network. So, and
Okay.
I want to give you a chance to close it out too. So what's on your mind?
All right. First, let me say to you, gentlemen, thank you. I grew up in a house with 6 brothers, so y'all couldn't do nothing to me. I mean, my brothers them was vicious. So, and I was always taught a person of character doesn't need an image consultant. So I can come on and be real with you because what you see is what you get. And somebody asked me the other day, "What kind of mayor would you be?" I said, "I'll be a Joe Clark and a Coach Carter kind of mayor."
Mm.
I'm talking about being real. I know I got to go in there and change some things. I know I got to go in there and deal with the waste that we're doing. I know I got to go in there and help save grandma house because they built a new house and taxes went up and her income didn't go up. And, I mean, it's a lot of real stuff that we got to address, and people are scared to touch those things. And, I got to stand in the gap for our children and force and I can't do nothing to MPS, but I can get on their nerve until they do what's right. We have to be that, just like you said, going to companies and trying to get them to come back into the city of Milwaukee so people can have good paying jobs and let the jobs at McDonald's and Burger King go back to the children, which they was designed for in the first place, so they can learn work ethics. I'm just honored to be with you, brothers. I love being around real people, and you can reach me at my phone number is 414-676-0842. 414-676-0842. That is not a campaign number. That is my number. I'm willing to talk to anybody at any given time. My website is king4mayor.net, king4mayor.net. You can reach me on Facebook, send me a friend request, whatever. I love this because I love that when you say "come on now," I'm like, okay, I'll come on now because I ain't got to. You ain't got to send me no questions and say, "Let me look them over first." No, let's get to the nitty gritty. Because here's the thing:
Right.
if a leader can't handle pressure, if I can't handle pressure with you guys, I'm not going to be a good leader.
That's right.
So I got to be able to handle no matter, and I got to be versatile, right? I got to be able to come here. Tomorrow I got a meet and greet and watch in Whitefish Bay. I got to be able to relate to them. I got to go on National Avenue. I got to be able to relate to them. I got to be able to relate to everybody. But all I want people to know is this: I am not for sale, so I would never sell your trust. What you see is what you get. And so, I would never lie because it's hard to keep a lie going than it is to tell the truth.
It is.
That's right. And listen, like I said, we'll have his brother back. I want to, before I go out of here tonight, Mama Jenkins says, she said, I'm getting mine together to ask him the next time, so please come back. That means Mama Jenkins is going to have some questions, right?
Yes, Mama Jenkins.
I want to say this, we go back and forth with terms and titles and all this kind of stuff. And, we talk about LGBTQ this and, diversity, equity, and inclusion. If you work in any kind of organization right now, DEI has become a mandatory part of what you do. And I, as a black man, a foundational black American, absolutely hate sitting through DEI trainings. I feel like we should be excused. We should get the day off work on DEI training because most of it's just about the injustices that you perpetrated on us. So why do I got to sit through it? But there's right now Saucy Santana, who is a very successful homosexual man in music and culture right now. Beyonce on tour, she promotes that agenda. She says she had an uncle who's that. We talk about our imagery as masculine black men, heterosexual black males, alpha males, if you will, responsible men who are responsible for their families and their communities. And the latest image that they're pushing is because Saucy Santana has gotten into a brouhaha with DJ Academics, who I'm no supporter of. I live in the podverse. Y'all remember, I live in the podverse, so I keep up on a lot of this stuff because I keep my eye on it. Saucy Santana, they had some words. He came out and said, I'm gonna beat your ass, and when I'm done, I'm going to screw you. I'm going to go up in you. I'm going to screw you. And this has set the media on fire. DJ Academics was so upset.
Hey, that's
he was
threat,
so upset that
that's like...
he was crying. He in his response to it, he broke down in tears because he says he's of Jamaican descent. And if you're familiar with a lot of Jamaicans, they talk about that being one of the biggest evils and the biggest sins. They call them Bate boys, right? Yeah. And that's just something that they don't approve of in their community.
Boy.
So he's crying, and people are saying, okay, so y'all so-called tough men is really upset now because a gay man said this. But the thing is if you look at the double standard that this country has created, and this is something that we've talked about for a very long time, is nobody actually has a problem with anybody that's homosexual or lives an alternative lifestyle. The problem that we have as men is that when you tell me I'm wrong for having my own individual lifestyle, for me saying I'm not gay, that's a problem. So my point is, if you're going to cancel heterosexual men for any time or anything that they say something that you would consider homophobic or transphobic, which is something we've dealt with on this show because we've had a trans person come on and call us everything except for a child of God. Make it go both ways. So if you got a gay man who's threatening to rape me, then he or she needs to be subject to the same cancer culture that you would put up on me for representing who I am. If he can go in a bathroom because he's dressed like a woman full of women and stand up at the stall and get away with it, and I speak out about it and I can lose my job and my livelihood, then when he threatens to rape one of us as a heterosexual male, we should take that threat very seriously. We fear for our safety. We fear for our lives. We need to demand the same accountability for them that they demand for us. I'm just saying what's good for the geese is good for the gander, man. Pay attention to how they try to twist you, man. Because when it comes to being a person of color, that's what they're going to continuously try to do. Keep you confused so that you can never become fully aware and get involved with the things that you need to do to make a change. I do understand it's a conflict of interest for the state of Wisconsin to do anything to help us, because then that would affect their disproportionate Department of Correction population when it comes to black men. And God forbid those people up north lose those jobs, since it ain't no cows up there no more. But anyway, I said what I said. It is what it is, man. If your criticism of the community outweighs your contribution, you're probably a coon. I'll see y'all Wednesday night, man. Peace and love, man. Outlaws for life.
Peace.
Peace.